My. Well, this is a bit different. So, this stream is going to be a bit different. You might notice, hi, I have it aimed high. There's a reason. It's because I'm going to be standing through a lot of this fucking stream. How are all of you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. This stream is going to be focused on me standing, but not just me standing, because no one wants that. I figured we'd do a second thing, because it might be a fun, sort of relaxing thing to do. I had to repair speakers. Apologize for that. Hello, everyone from the Quarantine Collective. Hello, everyone. Hello, viewers. I hope all of you are doing well. It has been a very long, very shit few days. It's a... God, what a long few days. The move was awful. Sort of overdid it myself. Yeah, there's a point where you kind of realize you're old, and I've crossed that. Deeply out of shape from not taking as good care of myself physically as I should. And here we are. So, I have too many boxes of books, and more or less, I figured we'd just chill. I'd pop on some light music in the background of all of this, and hey, talk about books, you guys yell at me, you say everything. Just a bit stressed with the donation campaign you're helping with. Oh, hey, George. Well, if you're stressed, relax in this stream. That's what this stream's for, more or less. I'm just going to be talking through all the books and random dumb shit I have. Because I have a lot of weird, dumb shit, and I also have some really amazing stuff. Afternoon of a Fawn, there was a single printing of it, and I just fell in love with it. It's a very, very, very lovely poem. And it has all of the lovely art. It's Mallarmé's. One of his better. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mallarmé, as those of you who have been following me for a while may know. Beautiful piece. I have no idea where I'm going to fucking put it, so it's going to go off to the side for now. Because this is not a normal book. This is the worst book bag I could have gone with. I have a lot of very boring books that just sort of make themselves known. But what are you going to do? Let me pop chat into a place I can see. I'm too far from the fucking computer. I never do this. Because I want to be able to read what all of you people. There we go. But yeah, so just chill with the stream. It's going to be mostly me walking back and forth. Some music in the background. If it needs to be louder, let me know. This is one of the prized pieces in my collection. You'll notice it's got an odd thing on it. You'll see it later. But this is a first edition of Fingers Pointing Towards the Moon by Wei Wu Wei. Which, if you haven't read Wei Wu Wei, he is a Western Eastern philosopher. And I kind of don't know how else to do it except to say that. He kind of comes at Taoism through Kant. And it's phenomenal. Oh, hey, this was a whole thing. I have some fun stuff, too. You're going to get a whole picture of Brooks's life. Sealed Metal Gear Solid HD collection. Because I pirated it, but I wanted a real copy. Got this for my son the other day. I love these books. These are, you're going to see a lot of these. I'm big into understanding how to visualize. And this is the Atlas of Economic Complexity. Is kind of this overdone visualization of sort of economics at large, but it's every country. So so for example, it's all the products and they're setting up, the product space, all of the different bits that they have, and then they basically normalize it for every country. And so as you flip, it's just kind of the same stuff, and you can kind of see what is happening, where they're at, who they're exporting to, who they're importing from. It's a really fascinating book, and it's every country in the world. It kind of gives you a really good way to sort of, at a knee-jerk, because as far as I know, there's nothing even like this online. It gives you a knee-jerk sort of way to go, what the fuck country is Gabon? I don't even know if you pronounce it that way. So who are they related to? There you go. Like I said, it's going to be a chill stream. This is one of my favorite things. My grandparents had this. How to use your computer. When my grandma passed, I took very few things, but I had to take this. This was the book she got so she could learn how to use computers. And it is the most vaporwave thing that's ever been created. The Finder menu bar. This is the menu that appears whenever the Finder is active. Apple menu icon, help menu icon. They drew it like a bar. Like, come on. Like, the fuck have you done with your life? Input, output, application software. This is like the most vaporwave thing I own, and it's accidental and I adore it. You notice the shelves are set up really nice. I'm pretty happy with them. Which guy is this? Oh, fuck. Wait, this had a cover on it. Why does this not have a cover anymore? Shit. Where's the cover? Fuck. Well, here. This was a gift from my wife. This is a story of couture and fashion. And it is a really extraordinary visual history of fashion through time and its impact on different things and how it's been tied into stuff. Stunning book. Christmas gift from my wife a few years ago. And of course, everyone should have a copy of the Codex Seraphanus. What? You haven't read insane people's bullshit? You haven't? I mean, how do you not just love that? How do you not just love that? First time seeing Brooke standing. And it, as a note, it's tough to set up the camera for me. I am 6'6", so there's no like level camera. It's either it's going to be too high later or too low, and I'm just too lazy. I do appreciate good. I can't really put this on stream for sure. Mischief, who's like that art collective, anti-capitalist, pro-capitalist, whatever, do occasional magazines, and this one was their porn one, and it is a trip. They have I can't show any of this, absolutely, in any way. It's a guy making spaghetti with his penis. You know, what are you gonna do? Another gift from the wife. This one from my son. This is Dexter's self-portrait in hay clay, which is an air clay. So that's a self-portrait right there. Ice Cold, Taschen. I'm a sucker for books like this. It's like the history of jewelry and hip hop, but like a visual history of it with all just extraordinary photos. Like it's just really amazing. Like just really beautiful. I'm a sucker for stuff like this. All right, we're getting close to the end of this box. This is the Experience Machine, which is just a wonderful little book about the nature of experience itself. If you're ever looking for something, Jones Mather and Uchil, a bunch of people, and you'll notice a couple names that you might recognize that they pull from. It's fantastic. It's just a large series of essays, and it's just beautifully done. I'm big. It's how I got into critical theory in the first place. So it's more of my son's characters. Come from experience, video games, VR, all kinds of shit like that. So I tend to be more in that space than anything else. I wish autofocus would track me better. That's fucking annoying. I'll have to keep hitting that annoying shit. Maybe I'll put it on flat, actually. Let's see if that works. There, that seems to work better. And then this. A large format version of Mallarmé's A Blow of the Dice Will Never Abolish Chance. What's up, Heather? You lost your phone? I can ping your phone, yes. One sec, pinging phone. How are the kids? Yeah, otherwise he'd be trying to watch more Sonic. Or something. Sound playing? No. Good luck. Blow of the Dice Will Never Abolish Chance. So Mallarmé, when Mallarmé did writing, generally, prose not so much, but like the poetry stuff, I'll show you the French version first. But this specifically, you can see he placed everything in particular spots. And most translations lose this. Like, this is literally the poem. He laid it out intentionally so you'd have to go in certain ways. This translation, of course, keeps all of that in a very, very beautiful format. And very large, and I really like the style of it. It's good stuff. Generally good stuff. And that's a box. There is nothing like having to haul these motherfuckers. I have to give love to the streamer, Kid Not Ken, who I'm friendly with for a while. You know, been over to his place, said hi. His wife's lovely, and we knock into each other a few times on stream. But we agree on enough that it's kind of fun. But I sent up a signal flare. We were running out of time on our move. It was fucking awful. It's hard for me to describe how awful this fucking move was, except to sort of say, we had to be out fully yesterday. Like, we had to be out. And anything that wasn't out was getting thrown out. And there's a thing that happens when you have kids. Like, you end up buying things, you don't notice when you've got clutter. Right? Like, clutter is a thing that exists when you're a single person that you may notice if you're aware. I'm not usually, but generally I can be. One sec, let me get those subtitles up top. But when you have kids, you can't keep track of anything. You just can't. There's just nothing to fucking keep track of. Like, at all. It's fucking crazy. So you spend a lot of time finding stuff. And then at the end of the day, you go, fuck, I've got too much shit to fucking move. And that's it. So kid sacrificed an entire day of his life to come help and support and do that. And so did Unbecoming his wife. Lovely people. And we owe them a huge debt. A huge debt. A huge fucking debt. So that's nice. Have I ever listened to... No, I have not listened to Alden. And I'm even a prog rock guy. It's one of those things like, when you find like your favorite actor has a band, I've learned to just not try that because, I like the thing that you do. I don't need the stuff that you may not do as well. And I don't want to color my view of you. So you never quite know. Ooh, this will be a fun box. If you can't tell, I'm a bit of a fan of Khalil Gibran. I've got a few of his books. It's a lovely set, the entire thing. But I'm a goddamn gigantic fan of Khalil Gibran. Prophet, there's a piece in The Prophet, which is one of his books, which I have elsewhere of this set. Maybe it's in here. Nope. Might be in here somewhere. I officiated weddings for a while. I did my brother's, but I did my brother-in-law's, but a bunch of other people's. And I always read from the love section. Khalil Gibran's beautiful. Highly, highly recommended. Let's see. We'll come back to it. What a thing. What a fun thing. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know, it's exciting. For some reason, it decided to schedule another stream for me, too, because, you know, YouTube can be that. So let me figure out how to get rid of that shit. All right. What a thing. Apologies for that. I don't know why it happened. It's annoying. All right. Let's see. All right. That's fine. How do I keyboard without a 10 key? I have a 10 key. You can't see it. It's just separate. I don't use it at all, so I just have it separate, plugged in elsewhere. I just don't use it. Just not a thing for me. But these are my red pines. There we go. Scoot you a little bit more. Sorry if I don't know what point it crashed. It was wild. Very annoying, though. This looks like it's going to be my sort of Asian philosophy section. Ton of red pines, single translations. Oh my God. If you are getting at all into the space of Chinese philosophy and sort of traditional, I don't know, traditional anything, Red Pine's the guy. If you can't notice, I've got a few of his translations. There's a reason for that. The way he goes through it, just to be very clear, like everyone knows the Tao Te Ching. It starts, the path you may travel is not the path, blah, blah, blah. But his setup for this, where he's actually gone through it, he first gives you the original characters, and there's a couple translations, and he tells you which one it is. And then he gives his particular translation, which is actually very unique. But what makes it fantastic is his background on it, like why he made the choices he did. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. So like Tao originally meant moon. The I Ching, hexagrams 4255, stresses the bright moon, while Lao Tzu stresses the dark moon. So when you talk about these things and you're putting it in, he's one and the same, the one we call dark, the dark beyond dark, the door to all beginnings. It's playing in a different place. And he's very clear about every step. It's the entire Tao Te Ching this way. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Then, let's see. Yep, I got my French translations. But first, my Yaqui is in here. My Mao Zongsan. Chinese philosophy in general. There's not a lot that gets translated, sadly, into Western anything. Way of Shuangzi, one of my oldest of those. There's just not a lot that gets translated, sadly. So I do what I can, grab what I can. I'm a sucker for Yaqui. He's really gotten me with a handful of his books, and he's way, 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 way smarter than I am. Like, super. Did I not see your question about Sinclair? I did not. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, I did. You're talking about, have I read anything? Do I have anything by Sinclair? I don't think I do, actually. There's if you're a member on Patreon, you can see the Brooks shelf, as I stole from someone's wonderful name. I think, okay, I may have some. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll have to look. But I have the Excel spreadsheet of every book I own. So if you're interested in what books Brooks actually has, here's Spinal Catastrophism from Moynihan. I have a bunch by Yaqui. And then Cosmotechnics goes with those. And then I've got my Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle cool paperback edition, which is beautiful. Still my favorite cover maybe ever. Like, it's just like, that's art. That's fucking how you do a cover. But then I have this guy. And this guy is a trip. This is, as far as I know, the actual first edition of Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle. There were not a lot of hardcover versions of this made. Apparently it was right around that time. But it's just beautifully printed and put together. It's a stunning copy. Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle is genuinely, like, probably one of the more important books for me in the last couple of years. Then I've got my Boris Groys Feeling Beauty, which is pretty good. I'm a big fan of that kind of concept. Sensing sound you saw a moment ago. A lot of that stuff. Then there's another Yaqui. There's my Ezra Pound. This Ezra Pound's fascinating. Someone recommended this to me, Jack, in our server. Jefferson and or Mussolini. That's what this book is. Like, I appreciate any time you have something that makes me go, the fuck? So it's literally where he says stuff, and the question is, like, is it Jefferson or Mussolini? Like, it's that's it. It's what's the difference? And it's pretty fucking good. This is a fantastic. There's not a lot of good video game books out there. Look, I'm in the process of writing mine, and it's difficult because it's difficult to come up with new ideas in any of this. But when it comes to, like, the theory of video games, you have basically Eon Bogas, I think, awkward attempt at object-oriented ontology version of video games. I do not like it or buy it, and I've never really bought into it. There are not a lot of good theory games on philosophy. A lot of it is good, like, for capital, for designers, for people trying to sell. But once in a while, and Art of Failure is literally that. It's a book about what it means to fail in video games and all the ways that failure, like, gives us meaning in games. Really important book to me, but, you know, sharing that. Another Tao. Wonderful essay book, Art and Electronic Media, that is just going through all of these amazing installations. If you haven't seen many of these, which I haven't, I've been fortunate to see a couple, but it's like a huge sort of retreading of all the different things that have happened in art and electronic media, which is awesome. I'm a sucker for it. So let's keep going. No Yaqui, Post Europe. I haven't read it yet. I'll let you know someday. Oh, God. Frederick Jameson is a fucking character. He is really interesting when you read some of his more underknown things. But this is like a secondary essay that I've been wanting to get through and make my way through. If you ever go to San Francisco, Green Apple Books, that's my plug for this stream. Go, how's your engagement? Bookmark this video and rewatch. Need some more books. Oh, dude, don't worry. There's going to be more. There's no way I get through all these books tonight. Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle, the best interpretation of Nietzsche? No. So it's going to depend what you mean by that. So Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle is specifically Klosowski's take on Nietzsche, which I believe is deeply informed by Deleuze's take on Nietzsche, and I believe informs Deleuze's work later. Is it the best book on Nietzsche? No, it is not about Nietzsche. Klosowski and Deleuze don't give a fuck about Nietzsche. Nietzsche existed, and he is a network of things that can be used and reconfigured and brought together. If you're looking to read something to understand Nietzsche, I would not start with it. However, if you're looking for something that will make you go, like, if you've read a bunch of Nietzsche to make you completely rethink what you understood, fuck me. It's, we're starting a reading of it in once I get settled here. So I'm hoping 2 weeks. We're starting a reading of Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle because I think it's that important. So be watching. Could be applied to life. The video games and failure is a little bit different than life. Video game and failure is a loss where you have to start over. And actually the book goes into the difference between failure and life as a thing versus failure in video games and how they operate differently and how the pain of the restarting is specifically designed into it. Really interesting stuff. This is just a cool fucking book. Tokyo doesn't have like a planning commission. I mean, I'm sure it does. I don't want to this is not knocking Tokyo. Tokyo has grown like absurdly. And the way that it's set up is very based around how people move in the spaces and the way that people live. And this is a phenomenal sort of breakdown of like how people literally move in the city and how the rail developed around it. And so did the highways and off ramps. And it's, go do Google Maps in Tokyo and just try to find your way anywhere. Like, it's a trip. So those are good. Excellent. Someone lovely sent me this. It's Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, which I'm a sucker for Whitman. What can I say? That's good stuff. Keep going. All right. Let's see. Oh my God. This, I fucking love that I found this in a bookstore. If anyone else is the type, I love finding buried gold. And I call it that because in a bookstore, like a good used bookstore, they're mostly filled with shit. This was worth every cent I paid. This dude traveled back from Persia in 1899, published this book about Persia and its people. Do you want to know what Orientalism is? I don't think it's hard to, so like Orientalism was written before I was really like developing opinions. Like, the idea of saying Oriental or anything like that was already passé and already kind of bad. This is written in a time when not only was that good, but the N-word still was good. This was a whole different thing. And so it's like, here's his stories of marriages among the Assyrian Christians. Whatever causes operate to facilitate travel and traffic and make communication between long distances quick, easy, and inexpensive, tend also to bring men and women of vastly different tastes, temperaments, circumstances, manners, and customs together, not only in their business relations, but also in the stronger and tenderer ties of friendship and marriage. And through this contact, their eccentricities, peculiarities, and provincialisms are worn down. Each is thereby made like all the rest of the traveling world in manners and customs. All become cosmopolitan. Like, it's so great. It's just like, it's written like, it's not unkind, but it's written for its time, to say the least. I don't recommend Sioran to anybody, but I love Sioran. It's an okay book. It's one of the things I keep as pieces of reference. Rancière, is this my Rancière section? No, this is, what the fuck? How did these end up together? Fascinating. So there's a couple of Rancière in here. Rancière is wonderful. There's my Paul Virilio, Emancipated Spectator, and Ignorant Schoolmaster. Ignorant Schoolmaster is one of my favorite and most important works for me, personally. It's kind of on my miscellaneous pile. And then, I don't even know how that got in. This is the wrong section. Duo is definitely not in that section. That's okay. Kropotkin. Cambridge Kropotkin. And then Labor and Legality. This is fascinating. Ruth Gomberg Munoz. Shakespeare. This is a jam for you. If you don't know this person, feels like you should. So what they did is they did an ethnographic study of illegal immigrant workers working in a Chicago Italian diner. And like their lives, like a full ethnographic study like you would do for a tribe. And it's like, when I worked in restaurants, I got to be friends with a handful of guys who like their lives were built around coming up seasonally and then going back home. And they'd work at like the restaurants I was in and they'd go back home. We got to be friends, but they'd disappear and then they'd come back the following season. And it was always interesting. And I never really prodded, but that's what this book is it's just like incredibly in depth as a study of like these people and how they live and how they deal with all of these things. And yes, this is my keyboard. If you don't have Hall switches, I highly recommend them. It's a Drunk Deer. Very, very good keyboard. New book. New box. Need to find my fucking knife. Goddamn pocket knife, who the fuck are you? The fuck? I'm not gonna fucking find my goddamn knife. Heather, because of the kids, if she sees it sitting around, she grabs it, she goes, "No you don't." And then I don't know where it goes. And that is my fault for leaving it around. I know. Doesn't matter. This is going to be a Verso stack. I need to figure out where the fuck I'm putting Verso books. Yeah, Verso's got, I know, problematic publishing and employee relations, all that other shit. So does every publisher on the fucking planet. What Verso also does is they have the rights and they print everything that's really worth reading. If you get a chance. Like, have I heard of Sudbury Schools? No clue. I did move Baby Squid. Yes, this is a welcome to the unboxing. Yeah, I'm not going to adjust the camera. It's here. Oh, it's that doesn't do any good. That makes it worse. You guys are upside down. Why am I doing that? It's terrible. Yeah, at some point you'll get to see all of these things. The question is, where am I going to put the goddamn Versos? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. I got to clean. I have to clean because Heather, if I don't, will come down and take all the books off the shelves and make me do this all again and make me clean it all again. Because she is what is called responsible. Literally, if you just find a series of like if a book is in the Radical Thinkers, that's all of these. The Radical Thinkers series. You see Radical Thinkers? All of these are going to have that. This is Radical Thinkers. It's in different places and different versions of it. Radical Thinkers. If you go to Verso, Radical Thinkers, find something that sparks your interest. They don't do it anymore, but back in like the heyday, they had sales on the sets. And I bought multiple sets. I would wait and I'd buy, I think it was like 12 fucking books or 15 books. Some were 20 books. And it'd be like $90. I'd be like, okay. And they're like, as far as paperbacks go, they're like the nicest quality paperbacks I own. So there's Feuerbach. Here's Marcuse. Like, fuck me. Are you kidding? These are insane. Yeah, Angela Davis. Just stunning. And they're all interesting and they're all something worth reading. I'm going to try to pull them all up. There's Baudrillard's Perfect Crime, Derrida's Ghostly Demarcations. See, I'm not even going to put them in order. Should I keep? All right. We'll do a. There. I don't have a. All right. This is a poll. Vote yes if you want me to group them and actually take the time to group them. Vote no if you don't give a shit. I know what you fuckers are going to do, but I figured I'd ask. And I need to figure out a way to get a better keyboard angle on this. Let's see. Oh, actually, that's how stupid I am. Did you see how stupid I am? I was like, oh God, I can't get it out of the way. I better push it back. I'm dumb. This move has been so awful. It's been a long move. Your Verso books are the lower quality paperbacks? Really? I've had just phenomenal luck. Like, maybe it's the different series, but I've found them just fantastic. Now, granted, most of them I've only read once. These are not my note-taking books. I use so I have I like reading the physical copies one time. The way that people in studies have shown that we engage, or we tend to engage with digital copies of things, is that we're unable to actually spot or understand the distance between beginning and end. So we would get the order of the Lord of the Rings right, but you wouldn't know how far in you are when anything happens, because the digital books don't have that. And so I try to read at least once the physical copies of the book. I tend not to mark mine up ever. But then that's it. I read once. That's the setup. And then we move on. And you guys are going to make me group all of these fucking things, aren't you? And these are... The Radical Theory series is also like trophy books, to be very frank. I have 2 copies of Terry Eagleson's book on the function of criticism. Why do I have 2 of those? And why are there different kinds of brown? Do you see how they're different colors of brown? What the fuck? Oh, one's my old copy, one came with the set. That makes sense. Interesting. But I read it once. Then I have PDFs. I use I have a Boox, a Boox. It's a e-reader. You can get them super cheap used. Find one from like 3-4 years ago on like Facebook Marketplace or whatever and buy it for like $50. Comes with a pen, phenomenal. You can make notes on everything. Save all your PDFs with notes. It's insane. And so you can just go back and forth, copy and paste. It's fantastic. That's where I do most of my note taking. These are for like a single read. There's a handful of exceptions to that, which we will get to, I have no doubt. But yeah. All right. So yeah, you guys are going to make me do this. All right. That's fine. Slim vote of 1, but I don't mind it. So let's go through. So the way Verso tends to group their shit is in series, and the series tend to have matching colors. That's the good news. It'll make the job a little bit easier than anything else. I have not read a lot of these either. These are like, I don't know. I'm a book clutter person. I like having a lot of them. Because I like pulling things down and reading. Even if I already have it. I think I have like 6 copies of a bunch of, like one of Zizek's books. I know I have 6 different copies of different versions of it. Which is fine. It's Zizek. But it's not for everyone. That's fine too. We just got to be careful here because these are going to be grouped funny. The Revolution series is pretty great. These are the MIT books. Oh, a bunch of random shit got thrown in this box. Those are green and pink. Oof. All right, we'll do green. There's red. Green. MIT. Red. Oh, Balabar's Reading Capital is so good. There's Balabar's Philosophy of Marx. These were all on my desk. Jesus. God damn, really? Yep. Fuck. There's more red. And then purples. 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 Let me keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. Where did the chat window go? God damn it. There you go. Whether you're still, see, let's go through a couple of the comments. Also, hey, if you not like this stream, I don't give a shit if you like this stream, but if you like generally what I do, it's been weird because I did my video right before we moved, finished editing and uploaded, and then that was like Saturday, and then like watched, then like commented and watched and commented. We broke 7,000 fucking subs. Granted, it was on the back of a negative video, but I think it was worthwhile. And it's the kind of thing that I think I have another video and I've already edited it, but I haven't rendered it and uploaded it because I wanted to just have it sit with me first. Michael was like heartbreaking to me. I know, people have made comments about how I'm fucking weird about this stuff, but I am. So to be fair, I'm weird. But the idea of like, hey, there's other people who care about philosophy that I can talk to. Anytime that happens, I get very excited like a fucking schoolgirl. And I just want to be like giddy. I'm just into it. And this was like to find out again that another philosophy YouTuber just was, one, doesn't care about what they say, but two, just doing the most unethical shit as they do it. Like it actually like took a piece out of me. I was angry and a little hurt during that video. Like as I was recording, because I have a fantasy that I'm going to find people that want to talk about this stuff, that are willing to spend time with it. And I've got that with the QC. And since we've been doing YouTube, Sunday's great. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about drama shit or anything. Sunday engages the texts he read. Do you know how fucking rare that is? All the rest of you people can eat shit. If you give it like, oh, Sunday's a drama, I don't give a fuck. He engages the texts he reads. That's incredibly rare. It's incredibly rare. Kid engages texts that he reads. That's why I get along with Kid. None of these people do. Otherwise, you just, every time it's like, hey, we can actually build something. Like we can actually do work. We can actually get something out there. And then, turns out you can't. Turns out some people might have been right. And I don't want them to be right. I'd rather they aren't right. I'd rather that we end up in a place where people do want to do better. But we won't. And that's a thing to get used to, and it sucks. So it's been weird watching. But all this rambling is ultimately in service of a point. I promise. And it's the negative critique videos actually serve a great purpose. I don't like there's drama and they grow the channel. Sure. But let's say we take out the drama side. I remove the person from it. The thing that underneath it that you see, I see the comments. I see people joining the QC. I see people in chat. Hey, holy shit. I thought they were right. You explained this to me. I fucking love Nietzsche now. I didn't know Nietzsche was like this. Holy shit. That's what postmodernism is. And it's like, the ratio's really good as far as I'm concerned of getting people to that. So I'm working on a way of actually removing the streamer from it. Alfie Brown, fantastic book. Like I said, there's very few good video game books. This is it. Candy Crush and Capitalism. Aside from how hilarious the image is, and it makes me giggle. And I don't like Zero Books. Generally speaking, Zero Books is kind of garbage and a weird in crowd of a bunch of weirdos. But Alfie Brown, very, very solid shit. Good writer, good ideas, comes up with good stuff. If you haven't read these, though, the Revolution series, Terry Eagleton presenting Jesus Christ. Walden Bellow presenting Ho Chi Minh. Come on. Who the fuck wouldn't want to read that shit? That's great. No? No? Not great? Maybe? A little? It's pretty fucking great. All right. There's blue, green. God. Finally, there's the rest of these. So this was Radical Thinkers series, this one. It comes with Jacqueline Rose, Michael Lowy, Isaac Ducher, and Gillian Rose. I've read The Non-Jewish Jew. I have not read the others in here. Got a lot to read. Need more time. Need more time in life, that's for sure. Blue goes there. You go here. This. That's all four. Up they go. You and Sunday brought me to Revason, soon more Bergson. Oh, just wait. Blame the education system for not encouraging engagement. I mean, I blame its capital, but I think what I'm fascinated with is the number of people who simply don't have curiosity. I believe there's probably nothing more important or nothing more interesting. If a person exists, and this sounds terrible when I say it this way, I don't give a fuck what you do with your life. If you're doing it out of curiosity, like a genuine curiosity, like you're actually just like, oh, wonder, it's like, that's amazing. People don't have curiosity anymore. And as a parent, I'm not sure there is more important stuff that you can instill in your kid than a genuine curiosity. And I mean that. A lot of people do not instill that in their children. And it has been a very, very disappointing goddamn learning lesson. All right, you go over here. You can go in there. We'll go through those in a second. Actually, we'll probably just go through those now. All right. This is Zizek. If you haven't read it, comradely greetings. Zizek's writings with Pussy Riot. Fantastic, actually. Like really interesting, really good stuff. I like it. And then these are part of, if you haven't seen them, it's Semiotext Intervention series. They're really, really cool, really nice covers. The actual books themselves are solid. I think they're all worth generally reading. I've read most of them at this point. But they're fucking great. We have do you hear the high pitched thing? Does it come through the mic? It's a whole thing. Yeah. I have not read Anti-Oculus. No, I will. Avatar 2 came out. I have a bunch of people I care about who worked on Avatar 2. And I was not able to see it in theaters, sadly, because there was no great IMAX near me. It's kind of how that works. I have no interest. It's fine, but I'm not big into the direction they take to lose, generally, let alone in that way. So no, not my thing. Let me see if I can find another one of these piles. We have I think the air conditioner in this house does a really weird, like, whine sound, which is going to be annoying. It's going to be annoying for sure. All right. We're going to just group these and I'll find a way to do it later. Slowly getting the books up there. One at a time. One at a time. Sudbury school students choose what they learn. Nothing's forced. All rules are decided democratically. 1-to-1 voting power between staff and students. Higher rates of college after. It's kind of what we're doing with Dexter, my kid, and we'll be doing with his sister. She's 3, so education is whatever it is. It's very self-guided. But we're doing it with edges because it's, I don't want him to get to the point that he doesn't have a better understanding of math than I think kids are going to need, and social studies and other things. So it's directed for a good chunk. And then we also have our own stuff. It's actually a really interesting discussion when you go through it. Let's see. I'm not forcing my children to read Kant. No, not yet. And probably never will. But if they ever get into philosophy, they got a leg up. It's a good time. Yeah, if there was a book of these, I'd probably mention. It's Lazzarado's The Making of the Indebted Man. That would come up. Christian Marazzi's Violence of Financial Capitalism is really great. Ada, which is not what you think it is at all. It's worth checking it out. All the rest of these are very good. Field of Battle by Rodriguez is stunning. There's a few more we'll come across if I found the right box. I have all of these. I love them. Water time. Let's see. Hello from Mexico. I just found your channel. Oh, well, hello, Laura Limon. How are you doing? I hope you're well and welcome. I'm glad you found us. See, I'd zoom the camera out more, but literally in the last 3 days, well, the last 4 days, because I haven't been eating and I've been doing so much fucking physical work that I've actually actively lost like 1.5 inches. So my jeans keep falling down. And no. Nope, you don't get that. Sorry. You don't get to see my ass crack embarrassingly show up, so apologies. Yeah, no to crack. Sunday will be like, you're not leaving the room until you can talk about serious. He's actually far more tolerable than that. People make jokes, I know, and he does have an edge, but so do I. Oh, this is a good box. This is a very good box. It's a very good box of books. We'll start with Michel Serres' Zola. Deleuze mentions this and goes over the same text in Logic of Sense. This is, yeah. Fuck, I just want to sit and read now. Fuck me. I haven't had a chance to go fully through this. Bataille's critical essays. They're reprinting a bunch of shit that no one ever printed from Bataille, which is pretty fantastic. All right, let's see. Let me see what I can do with the camera. One sec. Let's see. All right. See, now you don't get to see my face. You're sitting in my tummy. No one wants that. See, that's fucking terrible, Brooks. Let's see. Let's aim it back up. It's more tolerable. It's not great. It's more tolerable. If I had planned this out, I'd have another phone over there mounted so you could see where I'm putting stuff. But this goes into my favorites section because you'll have noticed there's a few other books by a few guys in here. This is my Deleuze-Guattari book with a couple of others. Let's get the tie in the right place first. Okay. To lose time, I'm actually just going to turn this box around, I think, because it might be easier for everyone to see. I also don't like the drama stuff, but I found you through the critique of philosophy too. Well, and that's the tough part. So, like, what is it that I can do? Like, this is, and I mean, I'm putting it out there. Feel free to give ideas. I don't like the drama either because the reality is I'm not really attacking Abigail. I'm not really attacking Michael. I'm telling them they need to fucking do better because they should fucking do better. But it's like, I mean, Michael did 2 videos in the last 3 months on postmodernism and fucked both up. And I called him out on the first one and I tried to be nice. I went on his channel and we talked at length. He didn't respond to a single critique. He even outright, like I showed in the last video, just made, it's like, well, I didn't say that. And it's like, so what do I do? These are huge channels with huge videos that are incorrect. It's not different than mud flood videos or mud fossil videos. It's the same thing. If flat earthers do videos, scientists got people go against them. No one goes, look at you starting drama with the flat earthers. It's like, they're not doing philosophy. If I was attacking Carefree Wandering, that's the name of his channel, right? The guy who did the Kant takedown. If I were to attack him about a thing he says on Kant, one, he wouldn't call it drama. If I was doing it in the same way, be like, you said this wrong, this is incorrect. He'd be like, no, I'm right, and here's why. And he might be right. He might defeat me on it, but it's like, you're supposed to. It's a discipline. This is not, philosophy isn't just talking about things. It's like, there's actual work that is part of it. And it's very embarrassing anytime people are like, well, it's only drama. And it's like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do then? I know, and I don't like the drama. I don't like people getting their feelings hurt over shit I say. It's fucking stupid. But what are you going to do? Because what can you say? What can I do? You might notice there's a few books that have been read a little bit more than the others. This book has been read a few times. This book has been read not as many times, but you'll notice they're not in quite the same shape that the other books are in. What can I say? What can I say? I'm going to be doing a series on this later this year, the cinema series. I got back into them again, and I really, really dig it. And then I found, and I think it's in here, but I found a first edition of his book on Foucault, The Archiviste, or whatever the fuck he calls it. All right, let's see. Blues goes up above. Authority goes down below. You go down here, probably. Got three. Blues and blues. Let's see. Maybe I can do both. Maybe if we tilt you a little bit better. All right, maybe I can sit while I'm at the desk. and then take them over there. We'll see if this works. I require you all to be friendly enough to me to let me know if you see ass crack. That's how you know you have friends. If none of you do that, I will know I have no friends on this channel, and it will be a total loss. Okay? Can you do that for me? Come on. That should be fine. All right. Wise ass crack. Ha 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 ha. But it's like, so here's what I'm trying to develop right now. And I started working on a little bit of the code on my phone and my laptop, but without the piece, without a fucking desktop GPU, this doesn't work at all. But if I do, and I create, say, this is my joke, and I think it's a good joke, by the way, but it's a joke nonetheless. Let's say I create a character called Nick Bland, right? And he is a racist, white guy, shitty philosopher. I'm not basing it on anyone, but I create that character. I use AI to create a version of him, a voice and everything. And then I take the next Michael Bird's video or the next Abigail video, and I just run it through the thing and basically turn it into my nemesis directly. Because none of it is about Abigail. None of it is about any of these people. It's about the ideas. It could be Lick Gland. It's not bad. That's not bad. I like that. And then what you do is I then have them with a voice, change the voice, change everything. I cite them in the thing, but again, it's not about them. I think there's more opportunity to fight the ideas then when I do that. If that makes sense. I'm trying to work through exactly what the workflow would be, but it's like bad philosophy can come from a single source. The person is irrelevant. It's very much irrelevant, especially when we're not talking about people creating concepts. Abigail and Michael haven't done anything like that. They're not doing anything interesting. So they're just reciting other people's work, which means, fine, I just turn them into that thing. I critique the ideas. There's going to be people who will probably dig, it's that I saw this video, but I don't give I'm not here for getting views off them. I'm here to correct them and to help people who want to learn actual stuff and to also get better at this myself. That's the idea. That's the idea. So if I can, I think through it and it's like, what can we do there? How can I set up things for that? Feels like something. It feels like maybe something. I'm not sure, but maybe. All right. So you'll see there's a few things in here, and you'll start noticing a few French texts. Did you know Deleuze did a child's book? A lot of people don't know Deleuze did a child's book. And it is pretty fantastic, actually. I get a kick out of it. It's online, you can find it, but I recommend it. I recommend checking it out. I think these are the last few of the mains before I get to the French. Guattari, and Deleuze. So, and I think I've mentioned it before, but I did actually start learning to read French specifically for these fucking guys. And these are very, very expensive to get in the States, or you have to wait till you do find them. Yep, that's dialogues. And here is Deleuze's universality, which is with his art. Love that. Man, I have such weird little shit. Samuel Beckett wrote 4 plays for Deleuze. Qu'est-ce que c'est que la philosophie? I don't speak French at all. Don't fucking... You're going to just have to deal with my terrible pronunciations. It's terrible. There's that. And then... This one, Frederick Gross, but I'll pass on that for now. That's that one. That's Castro. And then... Another box done. How the fuck are you falling out? I'll have to get another book. God damn. All right. This isn't working because it hurts my back to look down, so you get to deal with looking up at me. That's the way it works. I am the streamer. Do you have any recommendations for secondary lit on cinema? I have not read any good secondary lit on cinema, so make some. And I'm not being like sarcastic when I say that. I encourage you to make some. There are some things written on it, but so my new standard for like secondary lit is going to be, there's two ways I would look at it. One is Mehta Parsi did a secondary lit on Logic of Sense that is basically a masterpiece. And it's not trying to like grow the ideas in any new directions in any capacity. It's just like, hey, here you go. This is what we're doing. We're moving towards this. You're talking about this. To lose means this. That's it. You want me to read the child book right now? All right, you get my broken French. Verso philosophie. The film de Deleuze. I do not pronounce anything well because I can't. Si Jacqueline de Hume de Deleuze, c'est parce qu'elle. I'm not going to do this. It's going to be embarrassing as shit for me. It's embarrassing as shit. But there's a translated version that's really cute, but it's never been actually translated and printed here. And I did a light version of an attempt to try to translate it for my kid, and he thought it was funny. Like, he giggled. So, giggle is good. Was it Mehdi Parsa? Well, I mean, we'll come to it. It's in one of these boxes at some point. Zingus Homo Ludens. You want to talk about a book about play or video games that is like the foundation of everything? And here is Immediacy, or the Style of Too Late Capitalism. Kornbluh, I've liked some of Kornbluh's stuff on cinema, like movie reviews and stuff. Very interesting. But I don't want to say I didn't take her seriously. She wasn't top of mind for me. Until Todd McGowan had her on about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And since then, I've become a fast fan. Highly recommended. Now we're going to get into my Zhizhis. I like my Zhizhiks. Some of it's very good. Some Zhizhik is so good. Burns had Kornbluh on. I know. But again, he had me on. He didn't engage with me. Didn't engage with Kornbluh either. Because he's not, I don't know if he's capable, honestly. Like at this point, it makes me go, I don't think he actually has kept up with this shit. Or he could have in the first place. I've got serious doubts towards the general scholarship. But again, that's not me saying, fuck Michael. It's like, stop talking about this stuff. You don't have to do videos on stuff you don't know. You don't have to do videos on things you don't know. Hey, here's a book. Have you ever here? See, someone goes, yeah, Henry George. This is, Georgism is kind of cool. Just saying, as far as like really fascinating shit. This is good stuff. This is like really good shit. This is formative for me. Another one of those, just to mention. Oh, this is one of my miscellaneous boxes. This will be fun. When you're doing research into, where do I even start? How do you know why people do what they do, or what affects what things? How do you know? You don't. You don't have a fucking clue. No one does. So you have to learn to build proper setups and proper experiments that teach you to actually see things and simulate things to find the actual effect. But it's so much different and deeper than that. And it's the kind of thing that I never got a chance to actually put it in action, which is so frustrating. So frustrating. So frustrating. But it's very good. Marx used to say George was capitalism's last gasp. I think... Well, I think Marx didn't quite understand, or probably didn't know how fucking long capitalism would keep going. Georgism is actually a really interesting way to sort of rethink our relationship to capital. And I'll just say, if you're into MMT at all and Georgism, that's a fun place to be. Let's see. Epigenetics, graphics guide. Don't ever be ashamed to get the simple book on a thing, by the way. Fuck people. God, how many years ago? I don't know how many years ago I got this. But it was like, I need to learn. So get the fucking simple guide. Never be ashamed of getting the simple guide. People do that. People shame people for that. Like, it's fucking stupid. Never, ever shame that. Do I have a habit of collecting books and not reading them? I have a habit of collecting books and then reading them. I just collect too many books to be able to do it at one time. So, Francois Julien, Resources is his big thing. Resources of Christianity is fantastic. I really have gotten into him lately. Not for me, but I'm also too stupid. So it's not that it's not for me because it's bad. It's because I'm dumb. Someone will be able to explain it better. Here's a good book. This is one of Zizek's best books. Still today, even post Zizek Brooks believes this is one of his best books. Maybe, ticklish subject maybe. But this is like, you can see it. It's a red book. It's a red book. I very much have enjoyed Parallax View. It's very good. Let's see. These are like randoms. But then I have some other fun stuff. Someone in my server wanted me to get Solenoid. I read the beginning of it. It's 100% what I want to read. I do not have the mental capacity to handle. I don't do fiction well. Fiction takes me a lot longer to read than nonfiction. But Solenoid's apparently quite good. And just the beginning, so I thank them. At some point I will read it. I do like Echo. I do. Not perfectly. Catherine Malibu is an unrecognized genius of our time. Someone was mentioning the Nietzsche podcast by Essential Start, so I was wondering if you're familiar with it as well. I have differences in how I take Nietzsche. And it's the kind of thing, like I said earlier, it's not so much that I say I'm right. But the concepts and how they move for me, I don't really have the ability to divorce them from how I've taken them now through Deleuze, through Klosowski, and through a few others. I have worries that there is a reactionary tendency in what I see in a lot of what Essential Salts does. Significant one. Not as significant as could be, obviously. I'm not saying Nazi or Abigail shit or anything else, but yeah, it's I'm not familiar enough to be able to pass judgment, but I'm also familiar enough to know I'm probably not going to listen to a lot more. Sorry. I know. It's not the great... you want better answers. But that's the answers I'm giving today, so that's how it works. I got really deep into crypto. I'm fascinated by it still. The nature of how gambling functions in the space is... it works differently than I think people realize. And it isn't just as simple as saying like, oh, people bet on tokens or whatever. There is so much thought and nuance put into everything that comes with it. I find it far more fascinating. But also painfully dangerous. Really great book on participatory art. I picked this up when I was doing VR stuff about 5-6 years ago. Really solid. So Collender and Coopers have this book. If you're into the way that I think the future of policy is going to necessarily have to be written or considered, it is a very good way of talking through it. There's a handful of books that sort of play towards Deleuze and law. That's a real thing. There's Deleuze studies that are in law, like legal theory and everything. Because the challenge with writing law is that law is always top down, necessarily. It comes from the idea of an edict, a king doing X, Y, or Z. But that's stupid. Like we can write laws from the bottom up. And so why not? And this uses complexity science, which again, it's a lot of buzzwords, but it kind of runs through sort of how we can reconsider how we do laws generally. That's a few of these guys. Causal inference, neoliberal economics, governing complexity. If you can't tell, I got deep into complexity theory. A lot. Santa Fe Institute, which is I've got a whole conspiracy theory brained bullshit take on it sometime. You'll see those at some point. This is the best book ever written on Vladimir Putin, without a question. It doesn't make him look like a weak loser, but it also doesn't play him like a fucking megalomaniac mastermind. And it has a handful of, hey, I don't do this a lot. I actually fucking marked in a book. It's very good. Fuck. It was recommended, Mark Ames of The Exiled recommended it. If you don't know Daniel Quinn, I have everything he's written. I'm a fan of Daniel Quinn. But Ishmael, specifically, Story of B, I like. These are interesting reads. Very interesting. Another box. God damn. Oh, God. I'm going to go put some Crocs on so my feet don't hurt. I will return in a moment. What's that, Brooks? You should also get yourself a beer? Why? Thank you, I will. Jester King has this insane Pilsner. If you're in Austin, Jester King has an insane Pilsner. My brother's out there, and he is as big, if not worse, a beer nerd than me. So that's how it goes. And it's just a fucking great, simple beer. You know, who needs complicated shit? People have asked about Stigler. Yep. Have I read Stigler? Yes. And that is the end of the conversation. Stigler is not for me. But hey, there's a lot of philosophers who aren't for me. Yeah, I'll say I'm not informed enough to be able to take it down. I just know that I do not care for it. Not my jam. Not my jam, to say the least. this is. You want an interesting book. These are all going to be really interesting. I'm a big Nabokov fan. My wife, Heather, English, was her. She was a. My brain is dying. It's an English major, master's, and that was her thing. Was English lit, and she got big into Nabokov and has bought me a lot of really wonderful stuff. These are Pale Fire, but translated, but also the original note cards as he did it, because this is kind of sort of how Nabokov wrote. He wrote on note cards, and his wife actually reorganized them. God damn. Oh, this is a sad book. I did not like reading this book. So you know what a hobo used to be? The homeless person, hobo. We don't use that term anymore. Hobo is a whole fascinating thing. Homeless people used to they used to do stuff. They'd go place to place. They'd steal, probably. They'd rape. They'd kill. But they'd do stuff. The homeless now, their life is one of boredom. O'Neill explores how people cast aside by globalism deal with an intractable symptom of downward mobility, an unshakable and immense boredom. Focusing on Bucharest, Romania, where the 2008 financial crisis compounded the failures of the post-socialist state to deliver on the promises of liberalism, O'Neill shows how the city's homeless are unable to fully participate in a society increasingly organized around practices of consumption. Without a job to work, a home to make, or money to spend, the homeless, including pensioners abandoned by their families in the state, struggle daily with the slow deterioration of their lives. This is a really sad book. That's the end of that. That's the end of that conversation. There's nothing there. It's 100% worth reading. Don't say it's not. Don't take it as Brooks is saying it's bad. No, I just didn't like reading it. There's not a lot of books that get me where it's I hadn't considered. I think I was aware of, but I hadn't spent a lot of time with the idea of what it meant to be unhoused in a very particular way. And it's depressing. It's just very depressing. Oh my God, Mark Wilson. Now this is a fucking interesting book. I'm not sure I'm going to say it's good, but I can say it might be great. It might be great. It's either really, really bad or fucking amazing. It's kind of like how I feel about 1,000 Plateaus. My Godelier stack. Godelier's book on Strauss. The Enigma, the Gift. Fagg's book on, that's his name. It's his name. It's not my fault. His book on kingship. There's another Godelier right here. The work in Marxist anthropology. Cheese and the Worms by Ginsberg. My little anthropology section. Let's move that over. There's my Nietzsche's. Well, some of them. My Cambridge Nietzsche's. And then Leibniz's Monadology. There's Nietzsche and philosophy. See, fucking these never show up in the right place. Another Deleuze book out of place every time. And I did a reading of these the other day, if you remember. Missing Piece. Missing Piece meets the Big O. I'm a big sucker for Shel. Like a very big sucker for Shel Silverstein. Just a big sucker for it. I love it. He's so good. If you've never read it, there might not be a better kid's story versus these. Missing Piece as an idea, the idea someone else will complete us is silly, and it's a thing we teach kids, right? We do. So it's better we teach them that's not the case. One of the best kids' books there is. Here are some books that have gotten some reading. So first, another Godelier. One sec. And then Braudel. Perspective of the World, Structures of Everyday Life, and the Wheels of Commerce. His books, Civilization and Capitalism, 15th to 18th Century, Volume 1, 2, and 3. This and Worms and Cheese, I think, are kind of the history books you need if you're going to be like engaging with this stuff. You're going to be engaging with this stuff. These really help. They're sourced by so many of these guys, but it's also a really great sort of twist and understanding on things. I'm a sucker for them. How do I like DeLanda? One sec. Let me get this in the right spot. There. The fuck? All right, we'll turn it up and we'll see. Am I coming through okay? I might have to turn up my audio a little. Is that? Yeah, I need to turn it up a bit. Let me boost me. All right. I'll boost myself. I liked 1,000 Years of Nonlinear History. I did. I'm not sure I like a lot of DeLanda's work, although, all these guys' stuff is just generally pretty good. It's at least interesting. Time for a new box. I'm going to sit for a second. And yep, you get to see the top of my 5 head. Enjoy that. Hello. I am old and out of shape. I turned 45 on the 14th. Don't ever have a birthday during a move. It's just terrible. I don't have any Shaviro. I'd be open to recommendations. DeLanda's Nonlinear History is, I think, pretty excellent. It's, I have issues with it, but the issues with it are, like, mostly, I think, on my end. Oh, thank you, William. William Ng. Little tips to show my appreciation. Enjoying the stream. Look forward to checking out some of the books out. Well, thank you, William. It's very kind of you. If anyone else wants to send tips, I certainly won't be turning them down, but that is a very extraordinary, appreciative moment. Thank you. I really need to go find my goddamn knife. But the kids are asleep and I can't. My daughter's in this like really hardcore mom mode. And so if I wake her up, Heather will fucking kill me because she just starts screaming, Mom, where's mom? Where's mom? And then Heather can't relax. What are you going to do? Haven't read. Severo seems interesting. I mean, I'm open. There's a lot of really phenomenal writers out there. And there are only too many hours, and there's not enough hours in the day for, I mean, well, I'll be frank. There's more hours in the day for video games these days than there should be, I think would be how I'd phrase it. Let's see. Let's tilt you down now. Let's see if I can get a decent angle on this. Boop, boop. That's terrible, Brooks. There we go. All right. Now, see, that's fucking gross. That's going to make you seasick if you watch me get up and walk around. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. There. That's not bad. Again, if any of you see my fucking ass crack in my pants, I demand you tell me immediately. I will assume you're not my friend. There is more than a little Taoism. There's more than a little Taoism. You already missed it, but don't worry, there's more coming. I have multiple translations of the I Ching as well coming. But first, passages in the making of a book. There's a story of the making of a book I'm not going to tell you about, but I highly recommend Googling it as a thing. Tianshu, Passages in the Making of a Book. It's a Zhu Bing piece. I'm a big fan of Zhu Bing, which I think I have. I'm a big fan of Zhu Bing. I've gotten to see his shit in person. It's like, yeah. Zhu Bing wrote a book that is entirely emoji. Well, it's a Chinese emoji, so slightly different than ours. And it was written in a different era. But this is a book explaining it, and then also the way it was displayed and set up. Zhu Bing has been very, very impactful on me. And here's the book. I had not seen anything like this. And you're not really meant to read it, so I'm not going to do that. Let me make sure you can at least see it. So let's go to the first. It's a story entirely in emoji and symbols. Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. Have you seen shit like that? Come the fuck on. That's great. You heading to bed? Good. Love you, sweetheart. Sounds good. So far, good. Am I enjoying it? My back hurts and my feet hurt and my hands hurt. Otherwise, I'm doing okay. I did clean the top of this shelf myself and did it myself. So. Yeah, it was a bunch of boxes. Probably do a couple more. I don't know how longer I'm going to last.
All right, well, I'll take those boxes for tomorrow. Passing out. Good night.
Night. Cosmic Reference. I had that book. Oh, this is, again, it's, do I pick it up and read it all the time? No, but, yeah, okay. See the story there? I'll just let you just read it. It works. It works. And what makes it is, he didn't fuck around with it. Like, again, this is actually the book from the ground, point to point. And you would walk down the strain. God, I miss traveling so much. But you'd actually see the book bit by bit. And like I just adore. There's something about the style of it. It's amazing. Slaughterdick box is look. I don't get to choose when any of these things. This might be the Slaughterdick box. I don't know. Like, so packing was basically, here's a box, Brooks. My wife, Heather would send me a box, and it'd say "B Office" on it. And I go, okay. I put it on the ground. And I just grab books and put them in, and then she'd take them. So literally, it's like every box is a surprise at this point. I was a big design nerd. I've read everything Bergson's written, and half of it in French. So yes, I have. This book is fucking really cool. How they did the binding. Like, just say, that's fucking really sexy. I just think it's just amazing. But the book itself, which is just gorgeous, is just this sort of hyper minimalist take on how the Japanese have been doing a very particular type of style of design. And it's really just cool. I've had this book for like 15 years, I think since it came out. I love that. Do you want to see the most complicated board game ever, or role-playing game ever made? This is the Apollo 47 handbook. Yes, there was no Apollo 47. That is correct. What's his name? He did the Vampire Journal RPG that was so brilliant. Anyway, this is an RPG. I'm not joking when I say that. This is an RPG. This is literally all the things you will need to survive. And not an exciting RPG. But it's how to repair everything in the Apollo 47. I have no idea. But this is one of those things I own just because the idea of it, I adore. When I say it's big, so, okay. Look at how thick this fucking book is. That's a book. That's a book. Here, let me put it in here is 1,000 plateaus. Okay? 1,000 plateaus. Thousand Plateaus, Apollo 47. Ugh. That is a fascinating thing. We're going to find out what toss is. Not yet. So this is a book literally about cross-laminated timber. Blank. It's called a blank. So cross-laminated timber is it's hard for me not to just start ripping the book off. Buy this book or read this book if you can. It's really interesting. If you haven't done construction, back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean even in the 80s and 90s. Where's my fucking beer? Back in the 80s and 90s, you'd use lumber. Lumber comes from trees. And it always had a character to it. Now, as they got really good at growing trees quickly, they'd cut them down quickly, and the character of the lumber was less. You'll see it if you spend a lot of time, like find wood tables that are made out of a single piece of wood, and you'll see there's like lots of rings or layers, just beautiful patterns in it. And then you'll notice like lumber at the store doesn't have that. It's because they cut it in a different way. They grow it differently. They grow it. It's not quite the same stuff. But even further, laminated timber is like the most flavorless version of it. And so this is literally a history of like how it came about and what it was used for, because it's kind of like fire-ish proof. It's like MDF-ish. And it's very simplified. And it's just the single pieces that have no flavor. And it's about these blanks that make things. I love shit like that. I'm a sucker for weird, dumb shit like that. You're about to see a few of them. We'll just dive, well, you know what, easier. If you've never read, Matt Groening, before he made The Simpsons, made one of my favorite cartoons, Life is Hell. And it's great. Just recommended. We're gonna learn all about toss now. Ossuaries and charnel houses of old was not a thing to fuck around with. The history of death and what it meant for crypts of the Catholic religion especially, but the way that they dealt with it and what ossuaries were, these are real. These are not AI generated. This is a real fucking place. These are real things. Death was built into religion in an extraordinary way. And we don't really talk about this. This is, you see this right here? Skulls and bones and skulls making up this. This is humans. And the way death was used in these chapels and set up in them, like, it just doesn't compare to anything now. It's very hard to sort of understand or grasp it, to be frank. It's a very different beast. Very different beast. But on that front, if you haven't seen Mothmeister, I'm not going to open the book because I don't know what it'll show, but they take, this is like, that one was metal. This is metal. This is a book where they literally stage corpses in insane outfits just to make a point. Let me see if I can find one that's not going to give everyone nightmares. Because they resculpt the faces. Yeah. Yes, when I said I meant it. I'm not going to show this on the screen. But you can look it up online. Mothmeister. There we go. Get the reflection in there. Mothmeister. You can tell I got a little thing about death and how fascinating it is. Really amazing sort of ethnology of skulls and how we've used skulls over time to actually show death and what they've done and how. Like, it's really, again, these are things we don't talk about often. Speaking of, when you're the kind of person who goes into a used bookstore in New York City and you buy something and the guy goes, Jesus Christ, I never thought anyone would ever buy that. You know, it's got a thing. This is a book on prehistoric cannibalism. And when I say a book, I mean it's a full ethnological study on cannibalism and how it worked and how it functioned and how, like, the way that the jaw changed for cannibals and where we found the bones and how we found the bones. And it's incredibly in-depth. Incredibly in-depth. I recommend it. It's hard to find a copy. I was excited when I did. And here's Terraforma, which is just a book of maps, which I adore as a thing. Here's a mapping of the creation of a landscape between a management level employee and a stone marten. What the fuck? This is why I picked up this book, because it's fucking, like, that's what it is. It's just maps. This is Model 4, borders. Identify and provide a morphological classification for given territory's types of borders. Limes or milieu or outer reaches. Limes, limes, I don't know, correspond to known borders, whereas outer reaches designate unknown worlds. Milieus lie between these two extremes, corresponding to, like, I don't fucking know. But, like, it's map, fucking great. I love this stuff. What's the use case? Most of my books have no use case. That's why I own them, pretty much. You can guess this one. You can guess this one. So there is a very particular set of catacombs where they went a little overboard with how they treated their dead. As you can see. One sec, I'll be right back. And yes, the last book in here, well, there's a couple more actually, so we'll do them. You ever had to rebuild a library? Most books I've lost or had to give up. I have not had to. When I divorced my ex-wife, I literally took all the books. I was like, that's all I really care about. Because it's... I have managed to always end up reading the books I own. Last few years, I've overindulged myself a bit, but I've still found time to catch up or read these things. And most of them are things that, for the most part, hit into something I'm studying, something I care about, or I just find interesting. Speaking of, I wanted my own copy because it is weird as shit to read through. If you have not read through it, Seraphanis I also have in here, but this is like actually a full-on set of scans of the original, really well put together. Can I read it? No, but I really like looking at it. This goes up there with like Gormenghast, for example. There are a handful of visual or inspirational books that exist out there. Gormenghast trilogy, Chance de Moldoror. If you don't know those, you should. And once you read them, you'll go, oh, everything's based on these, more or less. And I think that's been a big deal to me. Yep, this would be another. You might be able to guess what this is about. This is the Palermo crypt, where they have full-on mummified bodies. Really fascinating read. And I didn't even realize how in-depth that shit was there. Like, it's a completely different world from where we live. And one of the more insane, absurd books I own, I don't even know why I bought it. It's The Resurrectionist. It's not true, but it is someone who basically is creating animals out of, like, their skeletons, but skeletons that exist now. I don't know why I got this. Because it's fucking weird. I was like, oh, that's fucking interesting. Man, you find these books in a used bookstore for like $6. The fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna buy them. Another box. So many books. Do I have libraries? We do have libraries in the U.S. There's a handful of very, very good libraries. But libraries are great for the kids. I tend to be in the problematic position that most of the things I'm into, there isn't really a lot of good libraries that hold that stuff. That's within a good hour drive, at least. Universities are different. Universities are some of the best libraries we have. But I am no alumnus. So guess what I do not get access to? So I either pirate or buy everything. Or both. Often I'll do both, actually. Should have gone for my knife and found my knife. This is what I get. Just terrible. Hey, fun books. These are well, there's probably some philosophy in here. Mostly non-philosophy, I have a feeling, though. Because this is my Battle Angel collection. Because I have all of my Battle Angel original mangas are not here. They are at my parents' house. Because fuck that. But got to have like my collection somewhere. Because someday I'm going to read these with my kid. Because I'm a sucker for them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. If anyone doesn't know, Battle Angel Alita is very good. Very good. And I'm not really a super big fan of what my former boss did with it. It's one of the reasons I fucking left. What can I say? Probably one of the best mangas, though. It's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite of it. Ashton Victor is like super, super underrated. Super, super underrated. God damn it. So let's see. I know I've got my Zizek in here. I do. Then in 2017, Welcome to Desert of the Real, Puppet and the Dwarf. Deeply underrated Zizek book. Actually, very, very underrated. Now let's see. Do I have any more of those in here? Or can I go put Zizek away? Nope, no more. Tearing with the negative. Good. All right, let's see what we got in here. Let's find out. No butt crack yet. Thank you. All right. This was... People don't talk a lot about how literature is born of culture. A lot of people are really stupid and think like literature builds culture, which is embarrassing. Like when you think about that for 2 seconds, think about it for 2 seconds. But post-Iraq War, this is a compendium of science fiction authors, many young, a few older, asked to imagine a science fiction future 100 years ago from now in Iraq. It's very, very sad. It's very sad to read, but it's very good. The Vignelli canon is really, it's more design book bullshit, but man, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I'm just a sucker for it. I have no idea what that book is and why I have it. Immortality. I don't know. I don't know why I buy some things. Pension, Gravity's Rainbow. I hate it. Moyan's Frog. Very good as far as fiction shit goes. Moyan's excellent. Let's see what else we got hiding in here. The Affect Theory Reader. Good reads. Actually, just generally, it's all top line. It's not like really anything that sort of stands out. But it's like a really solid compendium if you ever want to get into affect theory. Do I have moments where I wish to revisit some? I mean, I fucking read Anti-Oedipus for 2 hours every fucking week. So some I revisit a lot. The most revisit some like watching an old cartoon from I mean, Tao Te Ching, anything by Wei Wu Wei. Those would be the. You know what? As we go through, I'll keep that in mind. Obviously, this. So this is a compendium of remembrance of things past, which you also may know as Search for Lost Time. Translations are fascinating. It's the Random House double edition, which I found in a used bookstore for $20, and thank you, luck. This is not a good book. I have it because I can't sell it. I might give it away later. Dance of the Dialectic's really good. Yeah, this was a really solid read. This was a worthwhile read. Yeah, I should do a thing on that. Let me save that one. Oh, Murray Rudy, taken from us far too soon. There is it shouldn't be laughed at all, but there is sort of an underlying system of dealing with philosophy where you talk about it in terms of relationships and love. Not enough people do the philosophy of love, to be very frank. I actually find it to be a really fascinating, very, very specific thing, but a fascinating one nonetheless of kind of what we can do or what we might be able to do about people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Murray Rudy took Lacanian psychoanalysis and a lot of others, actually, like hard critical theory, and like made it about relationships. And she's wonderful. She was wonderful. Like this is such a good, her books are like, this is going to sound weird because it sounds dismissive. A lot of people want to write philosophy that's like timeless or deals with some huge thing. My obsession, and I think some of my favorite thinkers' obsessions, has always been about how do you make something practical? Like, how do you deal with a philosophy that's practical, that shows people how they can live, what they can do? And I'm not sure anyone has cracked it like Rudy in the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, maybe longer. It is about how to literally bring Lacanian psychoanalysis, but she doesn't talk about it like that, of course. Are you tired of reading book? This sounds like a relationship book, like some Jordan Peterson bullshit. It's not. Are you tired of reading book after book and playing game after game, trying to avoid heartbreak? It seems impossible, and maybe that's because you can't lock up your heart like that. Not if you want the real thing, and maybe that's one of the best things about love. We've been thinking about it all wrong. Our culture's insistence that women need to learn how to catch and keep a man is actually doing more harm than good. The more we try to manipulate our relationships, the less we are truly able to experience love's benefits and wonders. Sure, letting go of the reins a bit might mean a broken heart, but heartbreak, in fact, offers a wealth of possibilities, creativity, wisdom, and growth that we need in order to make the most of our lives. She's phenomenal. She was phenomenal. She passed way too fucking early. She had so much better work to do. Like, goddamn, that's like a heartbreaking goddamn thing. She had so much work to do. Murray Rudy is amazing. Have I enjoyed Three Body Problem? The books were fun. They're not for me. Here's more Rudy reinventing the soul. And then Malibu's The New Wounded, which I really, really like. Got some old guys in here. Let's see what we got. Chief Works of Spinoza, the Earl's translation, which is not very good, but I have it because most people read it. And then, box gone. Flugel's The Psychoanalytic Study of the Family, 2nd edition. I like old crazy shit because if it doesn't get reprinted, that means it's bad, and I like that. Published in 1926. It's a solid fucking old school fucking psychoanalytic book right there. But it's timely. Helps you understand stuff. And then probably one of my favorite Umberto books, mostly because it's just really fun to read. It's just super fun to read. Really interesting. Everything across the board. All right, let's put these in some good spots. All right, Rudy. Put the affect reader up there too. I have read Lapoujad's version of Bergson, and I am in the middle of reading Lapoujad's translation of Deleuze's Art, which is a series of lectures he gave that Lapoujad's translated. I got an early copy. Lapoujad's Aberrant Movements is probably one of my favorite books on Deleuze, like secondary literature kind of overall things. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. God, it's a fucking good beer. This may be the last box for the night. Oh, it's on painting. Was it just finally released? God damn, I need to do a review of it. It is on painting. Oh, my back. This is probably going to be the last box for the night. But I'm going to make a liquor recommendation. You kids. Eventually you're going to gain a little bit of a taste for the booze. But I got to tell you, herbals, it's nothing like it. So, if you live outside of San Francisco or like a handful of European countries, you probably never even heard of Fernet. But Fernet, there's nothing like it. I prefer Minta. Wakes you up. Let's see. How's the Bergson book? Fernet Branca Minta. So I'm a Minta guy. I'm also psyched about the seminars being published into books. I got to tell you, the work that's been done by Purdue to begin turning a lot of these into seminars, into readable English things has been great. And I got to tell you, Dan Smith has been, he's a phenomenal He has I happen to agree with him on a lot of things when it comes to Deleuze and how Deleuze intends things. So, I'm very glad that he's getting to shepherd a lot of that. And I think the same is true of Lapoujade, that these guys are like the powerhouses of it. I'm going back and I'm finding a bunch of Klosowski's old seminars and old pamphlets that never got translated. So I'm having fun trying to do that, and I'm going to see if I can actually get a few, maybe toss a few of those out there. It'd be super fun, I think. Be a pretty good time. Malik, welcome to being a commenting machine. Hell yeah, welcome, brother. Or sister, or person. Okay, this is a miscellaneous fucking box. I don't... It's my Dota notebook. My TED Talk notebook. If you haven't seen my TED Talk, you can go see my TED Talk. I don't know what to do with those. My One Punch Man, which only the first few is worth it. If you want a good book on AI, I'm not sure there's a better one. Plastic Pills got Daniel Smith. Hey, I don't fault Daniel for that. Like, go fucking get your funding, get people excited about what you're doing. Plastic Pills audience, like, he gets fucking shit in his own mouth, and they'd be like, wow, that's schizophrenic. So, like, yeah, get support however you can. Eye of the Master is, I have a very long video coming, by the way, that explains how AI functions from the ground fucking up. I'm adding a section from this because I think it's important that people understand it was designed specifically. AI, as we know it, was designed specifically around how labor functions. It's not how thinking works. It's how labor functions. I need to do a top 100 or 10 books in each topic. I probably need to do that. That'd be good content. That's fair. My brother got me this for my birthday a couple of years ago. This is Schenectady, New York, Charlie Kaufman's original script, which until Everything Everywhere All at Once was my favorite film, and this is still one of my favorites. But the script, he knows I'm a sucker for this stuff, so he got me just a nice copy of the original script, which I like. As I said, I was a sucker for design shit. Operative mapping is so cool as a thing. Visualizing data is not an easy thing to sort of understand how to do, or even to really understand the ways you can do it. Like, for sure. But the way that this goes about sort of explaining how data has functioned over the years, how mappings have been done, how they work, and there's some that are stunning. Like, there are some that are just stunning pieces where they just sort of are showing how you can map things by removing pieces of data and setting it up. It's using maps as design tools is a thing that is, I find genuinely, how to put it? I found it enlightening. Architecture before speech. The nature of architecture and how it's changed over time is not an easy thing to sort of talk about. This is someone trying to literally build a catalog of everything, every movement that has ever happened in architecture. And I'm a sucker for it. We were trying to build one of my last projects. We were trying to build an entire city with a unique, like, one of a kind architecture. And this book was deeply inspirational for it. Highly, highly recommended. Really weird book, but really fascinating. And speaking of weird and fascinating, I did back this on Kickstarter, the Unsplash book. If you haven't seen what they've done with it, it's basically a book of Unsplash, which fucking stock photos. But it's a really interestingly done project. And then one of my favorites, let's pull out some of these side ones first. I collect old sci-fi. I like old, when I say old, I mean like Ursula K. Le Guin, not the stuff people know. Philip K. Dick, flows my tears, the policeman said. And of course, my favorite, Harlan Ellison. The original Stargate book, Frank Herbert's Dasadi Experiment, Planet of Exile, more Harlan, Dan Morgan, who's amazing, Tolkien's Reader by J.R.R. Tolkien, and Peter Heath. I love these old the old paperbacks. There is nothing like the old paperbacks. We'll put you up here for now. There's nothing like the old paperbacks, just flatly. Hey, look, more Deleuze and Guattari. Guillaume Coubertin Blanc would be another person I would put on that list of like fucking people who actually understand Deleuze and Guattari. Art of game design, these lenses. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. But then this. If you guys aren't familiar with this penguin with a visor, 25 years of tomorrow. Old. I don't even know if it's still in anything, but Tom Tomorrow and the way that these were done, these very old pieces of political sort of commentary I grew up with, and I loved his style, and I always have. It's 1998. It's just depressing how much these still apply. I can't believe you'd never voted. Well, Sparky, I believe my utter apathy actually helps make things better. What? You heard me. By paying no attention whatsoever to the problems of the world, I'm helping to solve them. I'm not sure I follow your logic. You know, it's like they used to say in the 60s. If you're not part of the problem, you're part of the solution. It's not exactly what they meant. Pretty good satire, pretty good writing. I'm always a big fan of this shit. So, I have the compendium. Big fan of Tomorrow. William Ing, if you are unfamiliar with Harlan, you're welcome. I mean that. Philip K. Dick is Harlan Ellison if Harlan was on antidepressants. He genuinely hated the world, and but he loved it in his own way. It was he's a fascinating guy, and I really do adore everything he's written. Everything. Really much. Really love him. So go find some Harlan. You'll like it. This is what it sounds like. This is the book of homelessness. Literally about what it's like to be homeless by those who are unhoused, doing art, doing essays. Like that, tell me that fucking piece right there doesn't just hit you like a fucking ton of bricks. The road for a refugee is as long as you make it. Fuck. Just so heartbreaking. It's just awful. But yeah, it's just different treatments of what it means to be homeless. And it's really good. I should do a reading of that sometime. It's always hard to know if that would be good or not. And then one of my favorites here, I'll pull this one a little bit further back. I think I've talked about this one before too. Iron Fists. Branding the 20th Century Totalitarian State, if you can't read it. It literally is. Yeah, it's about it's like how they do deep dives into like how Coke does its campaigns, except this one is the Nazis, the Americans, and the fascists and the Japanese during World War II, and how they did it like across the board, and how they like in the Soviet Union too, like It's incredibly detailed. Incredibly detailed. But there's a lot of stuff where it's like, hey, we see the stuff that survived because it's the stuff people liked, right? We see that. We go through that. But this isn't that. This is just like all of it. And it's a real history of like who designed it, where they came up with it, why they chose red for the red book. Such a good little section. But it's like all of it. And it's really fascinating. But it's just totalitarian states and how they did their branding. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty fucking cool. I like it. I think there is where we're going to go. Well, let me adjust the camera actually a little bit here. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Up a little. There we go. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking is going to be the angle. I might zoom out a little bit. I haven't been able to fuck with the camera much. It's minimizing with the mic, though. I might have to move the mic around a little bit. Let's see. Let's move you like right now. Let's see if I go like this. Poop. Oh, that could work. Let's find out. Yeah, that's not bad. And I've got a little bit of more framing to do, but it's not terrible. Do I have leftist art books? No. I mean, I think I do somewhere. Depends on what you mean by leftist art, I guess. I'm much more interested in the development over time of signs and symbols. That's why this book, for example, Iron Fists, like hit me so square, and I think I've literally read it on stream a couple times. I love this book. It's a really interesting sort of, how do you do this? Why did you do this? Why did we do this? Why are we in this position? Why are we attracted to certain things versus others? Like, how do they develop it over time? It's complicated. And it's difficult. But we're going to end the night as I drink my beer and relax. And I head to bed probably about 10:15. We're going to read a little bit of Fingers Pointing Towards the Moon. Wei Wu Wei, if you don't know of his story. His name means action, non-action. Doing, non-doing. And he was a British guy who basically was very well off, super bougie, and had like a crisis of conscience. And he did he's almost like the archetype of the rich white kid who goes to China and Japan and like comes back a Zen master. Except he kind of super really did do that thing, right? He kind of super really did that fucking thing, which is really fascinating. And he did it through a really interesting way of finding a way to bring sort of one tradition of Buddhism through what I would say is a phenomenological or even Kantian sort of rational view. And so as such, he kind of has a lot of, it's really interesting. Let me see if I can find a good one. Someone asked me, what is Zen? I do not know what answer learned persons give to this question, but personally I am at a loss each time it is asked. I might reply, Zen is the science of the realization of our cosmic nature, but there are few questioners who would find that adequate. So I will attempt a fuller definition. We will see what happens. Historically, I believe Zen to be the philosophy of the original Taoism, rendered immortal by the words attributed to Lao Tzu and Shuangzi, which proved to be too eclectic for popular religion which Taoism has become, but which, being a profound expression of relative truth, could not die and come to be absorbed by that very pure and dépouillé form of Buddhism said to have been introduced into China by Bodhidharma in the 6th century, and probably based on the Lankavatara Sutra. That form of Buddhism, traditionally the most authentic, comprehended only by a few, was termed Dhyana in Sanskrit, Shan in Chinese, and Zen in Japanese. We are told that dhyana means meditation. This is repeated by all authorities despite the fact that meditation is continually condemned by masters of Zen and is in direct conflict with the way of life recommended by them. That dhyana meant meditation in Sanskrit is presumably a fact, but what it meant and still means in China as Chan and in Japan as Zen is stated in the clearest and simple possible manner by Huineng. Wei Lang is his other name, the sixth patriarch from whom the modern doctrine directly descends. He states in his sutra, dhyana means to be free from attachment to outer objects. And again, to be free from attachment of all outer objects is dhyana. Nothing could be less ambiguous. If it is desirable to put in different words, one might say dhyana means a state of mind unaffected by the field of sense perceptions. What matters is what is meant by the word, not what the word meant in another language, at another period, in another land. It can only be rendered in negative terms: detachment, non-identification, and non-reaction. It's really good stuff. He's fascinating. He's fascinating. Thanks, Arachne. Thank you for the best. Always, always, always. Felician, I've been rereading Postulates Linguistics, Several Regimes of Signs. Would be interested in a company with a book like Iron Fist. If you're rereading Several Regimes of Signs, Iron Fist is fucking perfect. 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 So I have this much done now. You can see it's not a lot. We got a lot more to do. And I haven't even brought out the fucking board games yet. Still haven't even brought out the fucking board games. So, let's see if I go like this. Let's see. I'll go boop, 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 boop. See, I can zoom out actually. Oh, actually. Ooh. Kind of like the wider view. Huh? I gotta tilt a little bit more down, I think. Or I can I actually am probably going to have to lower the camera. But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Huh? Thumbs up, thumbs down. See, again, for the whole room. Because, again, I'm not like a little bit like that. That's the wall. I think it works nicely. I've got to figure out what better way to frame myself, though. That's going to be the challenge. So I think it's lowering that, flattening the camera's angle. Yeah, that'll be nice. And this doesn't even show up yet, which is the whole thing, because I got this other camera here. You'll recognize it shortly. This guy. It's right there. See? Just out of sight. So I can do readings of books. That's the goal here. So I can do readings of books or whatever the fuck else I need on the desk space, because I have a larger desk space now. That's the hope. Thumbs up. Don't worry. The bisexual lighting's coming. Do not worry. Lighting is just one of the last things that's going to be going in here. So we're getting there. But yeah, the bookshelf space, and then there's going to be a TV right in the middle there, so I can have stuff in the background while I'm writing, because I require that. Having a second camera is nice, so I can do readings and I can go, oh, hey, look, Iron Fists, and I can actually zoom in pretty far with this thing too. I'm actually really happy with it. It's a cheap little shit camera. Here, let me show you. One sec. Let's do let me pull a bit. Let me see. I'll find something else. Let's see. God, I'm fat and out of shape. I like how my captions went from sigh to buzz. It's like, what the fuck? Well, that was easy. Oh, this will be fun. This is an easy one. This is stupid. Ah. Oh, this is a dumb box. I like dumb boxes. Sometimes I buy things that I can't help it because they were cheap and for sale at the library. Like this. We'll go over that book in a moment. These are, I'm going to make recommendations of paper things you can buy. You can subscribe to. Besides The Onion, which you should immediately go subscribe to The Onion without question. The Baffler. That one's still closed because, well, that's what happens when you move. The Baffler is actual lefty shit. Like good lefty shit, not the crappy lefty shit that's like Jacobin. I like Jacobin. You're going to see I have a bunch of Jacobin. Jacobin's fine. They do good work. They have really good writers who write for them. That's the thing I like about Jacobin. Baffler is like really solid fucking good writing and really good pieces like across the board. I recommend the Baffler. If you ever get a chance or have a need to subscribe to something and give people your dollars, the Baffler would be up there. You'll see I also have in here a bunch of these New Yorkers because it was $4 extra to get the physical version along with the digital. So I have the New Yorker physical edition. That's just how that works sometimes. But the Baffler's great. The Baffler's great. And I've been very, very happy with their work and what I get for it. Baffler's fantastic. I have my collection of Lacanian ink in another box. So I have like 40 some editions of it. I did stop an edition. Maybe I have some in here. I don't think so. Nope. They shouldn't be in here. I know where they go. This would not be the box. Let's see. Then I have these. Interesting take. I wanted to understand how they did this. Great Mental Models is the book series. Okay. I'm not recommending these books. Let me just start there. I picked them up because I am trying to constantly try to figure out how to communicate mental models to people, mental ideas, concepts, things like that. And these were popular. These are popular. This writing is popular. They're really well designed. But they don't actually get across a single fucking thing they're trying to get across. It's mostly just reading shit. And it's the kind of book that like Jonathan Bai would read and be like, I am brilliant now. Right? Like it's got like 4 pages on Hanlon's razor and then Occam's razor. But they're not like interestingly taught. It's just, it could be written by AI. But they were cheap, so who gives a fuck? There's all my Bafflers, my Jacobins, and my New Yorkers. I think that's everything in this box. So here, I'll show you one of the things that I cannot help buy whenever I see it. How many of you have old grandparents? When I say old, I mean like maybe dead. Like, I think my grandparents would be in their 90s, late 90s now. Yeah, they'd be in their late 90s, maybe over 100 now. Life magazine, I cannot help but buy shit when I see it. Life magazine, once upon a time, was actually like really interesting. It really was. But they're propaganda. Like, it's not even a question of whether or not it is propaganda. It is flatly propaganda. But it's propaganda in a really interesting way where they have these stunning photographs of life and these massive books. And this is like the history of Western man. This history of Western man. And I cannot help but buy this shit because it's like, here is what people have been taught, and here is what people, it's the most romanticized nightmare view of shit that you've ever seen. And it is kind of incredible because it's like, oh, this is what people think. Let's the height of fashion in great ladies was portrayed by Thomas Gainsborough in the art that displayed the orderly elegance the century prized. Opposite is the Honorable Mrs. Grant. The extreme beauty of the lady so fired Gainsborough that he painted her on 4 occasions, once as a servant girl carrying a broom. It's like, oh, dude. My great-grandfather's in his 90s, but my great-grandfather, my grandpa passed 20-some years ago. He was in World War II. So, yes. The rise of parliamentary government. The age of revolutions. I find this shit utterly fascinating. And then America. Let's see if we can find the good stuff. I love, this stuff always makes me like, America was born with a noise at its back, the morning noises of 3 million square miles of virgin wilderness. These noises were at once sweet, howling, awesome, and energizing. A European, when he first arrives, wrote Jacques Crèvecoeur, the Hudson Valley farmer in the 1770s, seems limited in his intentions as well as his views, but he very suddenly alters his scale. He no sooner breathes our air than he forms new schemes and embarks in designs he never would have. Just... Life is amazing. All of these, if you can find these, they're worth buying. They're cheap as shit. This was $1. This was $1. This stuff is amazing to read. To no end. I will never stop reading it. I find it fascinating forever. I will find it fascinating fucking forever. It's $1 at the fucking bookstore. Well, technically the library. To be very clear, technically it's the library. Technically it's the library. But they do book sales here every 3 months where they just take everything that doesn't get taken anymore out, and it's like perfect. This is shit I love. That's like my jam. That's the shit I fucking adore. It's my favorite thing. Let's see. That gets that out of the way there. Good. Yes, it's not bad. So as far as a mic goes, it's not terrible. It's usable. It's blocking the screen a little bit, but I can also have it go up a little bit more. Let's do that. No, down you go. There, down you go. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, that's pretty nice, actually. So it's off to the side. You're good, not blocking there. I'm going to have to adjust the camera. Again, lower. I might rotate it a little bit middle, so I'm in the more centered, but it's not possible. Not bad. All right. How have you guys been doing? Have you been doing well? It's been a long fucking week for me. So I'm just going to enjoy my beer and relax. We're not reacting to a goddamn thing. I'm not watching any of these fucking things. I have arrived. This is the new place, which I'm excited about. I've got a lot of work to do. So do the kids and me, but it was a lot. This was a lot. This was a lot. This was a lot. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can't. I have literal bruises up and down my arms, like really dark fucking bruises. Like those are bruises. That's not red marks. Those are bruises. I'm just too old to fucking do this. Just too old. And then the kids, Dexter's having his first experience with emotions. It's pubescence is fascinating. When you move to adolescence and there's like that odd few years before you become hormonal, but you're no longer as simple as you were. Like a child is very simple. Babies are simple. I used to laugh and joke that they're like, until they're like 2, they're basically blobs. Then they develop personalities, but they're fairly directed and basic. he's now at the age where he's making complexity. He's got subjectivity in a real meaningful sense. Complex emotions are doing a real thing with him. And that setup, I think, is, it's really interesting to watch. He was scared by a video he saw on YouTube the other day that he'd watched about 1,000 times. Syriac's Meow. If you don't know Syriac, you're welcome. But it's like zombie cats. It's animated zombie cats. But the zombie cats were killing other cats and making them zombies. So it's caused him no end of nightmares and terror. But it's not so much that as much as it is that he's starting to piece together the complexities of life and what things mean and other stuff. And it's really interesting. He watched, we watched all 3 of the Sonic movies. I recommend the Sonic movies, by the way. I know you're shocked. I do recommend the Sonic movies. They're not great, but if you have kids, they're way better than most shit. Like way better than most shit. To be very, very simple, they're way better than most shit. Let me see. I'll manage just a little bit more. See if we can get a little bit better framing. They're way better than most shit, to put it lightly. Jim Carrey is fantastic in it. But, so Eggman's the bad guy, Jim Carrey's the bad guy. They go through all 3, and by the end of the 3rd, Eggman, the bad guy, kind of learns what friendship means. Like, it's a kid's movie. And then he sacrifices himself and dies to save the world. And my son burst into tears. And I was like, what's going on? And he goes, he's a hero. That's what heroes do. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, it's the level of complexity of the emotions. It's like, whew. But it's that kind of thing. It's tough. It's long, complicated. How do you keep kids from becoming zombies via social media? I mean, you don't let them watch or do social media or watch things on YouTube. It's not easy. Like, that's the thing, is social media and YouTube are, and this is not me saying as a judgment. I don't do that. A lot of people have been accusing me of that last week. I don't do ethical or moral judgments. Things are difficult. But if you let them watch shit on YouTube, the reason you're doing it is to give yourself 5 minutes. And I get it. Trust me, if there was like a drug I could give my kids that would just knock them out with no side effects, I would debate it. Give me a fucking hour of my time. I get that. But those YouTube videos, there's a point where it becomes the thing. And as soon as it becomes the model of things to them, as soon as it pushes it over, it's really tough. I don't have a good answer. There isn't a good pamphlet for this, because the other side of it is I don't want Dexter or Violet to grow up to be a guy in high school, junior high, who joined after homeschooling up until then. And his parents didn't allow him to watch TV. And he was ruined. Like, and it just is his life. He was ruined. And like it was like Rumspringa. As soon as he could watch anything, it ruined his fucking life. And it was really weird. But you see that a lot. It's not abnormal. And I don't want them to be like, oh, I don't understand any of this. And then they go out in the world and it's there. They need to be introduced to it. How you do that is terrifying. Once Upon a Time, Man, and we've watched How to Train Your Dragon, probably one of my favorites. And then, what was it? I don't know. My Plex server is down, or I'd go to it. There's a bunch of great kids movies out there, but like, there's also like a lot of, I'm comparing it more to Mario and Minecraft, because as far as video game movies go, that's the three we've got recently. Mario's awful. Minecraft is worse. The Sonic movie's completely watchable. And I mean that, like, as a normal, like, if I were to sit you down and make you watch all three, Sonic, let's say Sonic 1, Mario, or Minecraft. Sonic would be a breath of fresh air. Period. Like, that's the thing. The third's good. They're all the same. They started to embrace what they were doing in the second and third. There's some great lines in the second one that I really liked, like Sonic going, "Oh my God, not another water level," and like, yeah, fucking, that's how it feels to play it. There's a lot of really good kids movies, but kids, here's a thing that parents didn't have to deal with when I was growing up, or even actually, I would say 20 years ago. Everything is a brand now. Everything. And I don't mean like everything's a brand and diapers are a brand. I mean, like, try to buy diapers or anything that doesn't have Star Wars or Marvel in it. Try to buy something that isn't covered in one of the major brands. Like, you can't. Everything is covered in that. And so when you buy them blankets, or you buy a sleeping bag or a pillow or diapers, they're going to see shit over and over and over again. And it's got to be something that is tolerable. Most of the shit is just not tolerable. It's just not tolerable. What a nightmare. I didn't even actually get to mention these guys. Let's do this. These will be our last books, then I'll fucking bounce the fuck out. These are, that is a weird mix of books. These are my learning books that because like I said, don't ever let people shame you into not getting things that explain stuff simply. MIT Press is a phenomenal series on this and for this. Okay. See, now it is in the way. I knew it would be in the way. God damn it. Let's see. That's fine. Let's readjust it. Turn you around. Yeah, it's still a little more imposing. MIT Press is a great knowledge series. All of these are great. Their book on deep learning is straight up from the beginning, how it operates and how it works. And it is not fucking around. Like, it is complicated enough for someone who needs to know. Data science, free will. I really liked this book, by the way, because it's, again, this isn't about arguing whether or not. It's explaining the functional parts of it, where it comes from, how it functions. Neuroplasticity and what it is. Memes and digital culture. The mind-body problem. The paradox, the nature of metadata, recommendation engines, and Paradox itself, which is really a fun read. Really a fun read. It's all about logical paradoxes. So that's like really fun shit. Highly, highly recommended, just generally. Super good. Just, again, introductions to things are fantastic. I like to think Frustrated Brooks on stream leads to Chill Brooks off stream. Frustrated Brooks on stream exists purely in reaction to what I'm seeing. Like, there's nothing else there. There's a weird, the way that a lot of stuff gets seen online, I'm learning, is mostly, how to put it, the conditioning of what people see things as is based on other things, as always. So people talking about other people online tends to be shit talking or praising. And it's generally done as a thing against the person. You don't see a lot of people doing critique. And so I've been stunned at the number of people who are like, thinking my video is like a takedown video of Michael Burns. Like, what? Like, it's a takedown video of his video, but like, I don't give a fuck about him. Like, it's disappointing that he's like this, but it's like, dude, your scholarship shit, do better. Here's things you did wrong. Don't misquote. Don't steal other people's work. Don't plagiarize, and actually do real scholarship. You have a background and an opportunity that few people in the world have, and you don't embrace it. Instead, you abuse it. And that's the part that gets me frustrated, where it's like, I would fucking give my left arm to be able to do this shit full time. Like, I probably would give my left arm to do this full time. They have make video game controllers that are one-handed. Like, but people in that position are abusive and don't care. And I think it's, I think where we're at right now is, I think, a watershed moment where people are starting to get more sophisticated in very minor ways, but in ways that are sophisticated enough. And I think from there, you are able to find better content that is more in your direction. YouTube incentive structure is perfect for producing. I don't know if that's true. I think that used to be true. I think that used to be true, but I'm not sure it's true anymore. I think there's a significant argument to be made for the opposite, that the way that engagement is being valued now by YouTube is shifting. And it's so complicated that you can actually play in a very different space. And the micronization of groups, I think, is something that's going to be very serious very soon. I mean, these large single video YouTubers, and again, I think this is primarily what President Sunday's video was on about. We've created a weird celebrity cause in how we treat those handful of people who have a certain, they have 500,000 views, they have 200,000 subscribers. And that clique that we allow them to be in as influencers, one, it's anathema to leftism. Like, just flatly, having influencers in this movement is silly. Having ideas is not. But that thing, I think, puts us in a place where naturally we're aiming at really shitty stuff and dumb stuff, to be frank. And that puts us in a spot where we're treating philosophy, we're treating leftism, progressivism, changing the world exactly the same way that people treat video games or nail polish or anything else at all. And once you start doing that and you make that move, it puts you like naturally doing a worse job at all of it. That's just it. And so what do? Well, I think what you do is, and this is why I'm backing President Sunday's move on this, because I think he's right. We need to get rid of the idea that there's leftism. We need to kill the sacred cow of the progressive movement or the leftist movement, because it's a huge load of shit. There is no such thing as leftism. That is a category by default that is negative. That's it. And I don't mean negative. It's negating. It's built out of negation. What is leftism? Not that. We're against that. We're not. What are you for? Well, no, you're not for. We're for rights. No, you're not. Like, what does that mean? No one knows. Like, the fuck does any of this shit mean? None of this means anything. Oh, we're for equal rights for trans people. No, what? That's the opposite of what, like, that's not a universalist move. That's equal rights for that group. That's not what equal rights is. Equal rights for all people in all capacities. The moment we aren't doing that, we're not that, we're counter. We want more rights for trans people. And again, we're in a weird position because I care about trans people. I know trans people. I care about a lot of people. I want all people to have rights. And so I'm not wanting to downplay or do anything against that kind of movement. What if I said something that actually yielded, like I did an Anna Kasparian, and I was like, oh, we actually want to shit on trans people. No, that's not the point either. Like, we're fucked because it's all being it's all being placed in the same place. We're all being, the end of Anti-Oedipus, like the point of Anti-Oedipus, but the end of Anti-Oedipus, the last two sections, they go very clear. And I do not have a way to argue against this. The way the social structures work and the way desire, power functions in them necessarily means that there are people who are finding themselves in power, in desire, like they're finding themselves in the system or not. And that's it. There's only the political class of the bourgeois is the only political class. There is no political class of the proletariat. Proletariat's a thing you have to kind of really understand and logically talk about in order to get there. There's no such thing. Like, what's the working class? You feel free to define that for me. Eat shit and die. You're going to fuck off and you're going to tell me I'm not part of it or this other guy's not part of it or whatever. Because it's identitarian primarily, but it's also like derived from the negative of a symbol. That's not how fucking anything works. Like, what is a not a man? Like, what the fuck does that mean? What's a woman? A woman is not a man. Well, a man is not a woman. What? No, this is not how the negative of a symbol doesn't give you anything. The anti-power, anti-establishment movements do nothing. They do nothing for us. We need an affirmative movement. And to have an affirmative movement, we need to rethink what it means to be leftist, wholly from the ground up. What is a woman? A woman is, ready? A word. It's a word we use to describe a person. It's descriptive, not prescriptive, and anyone who just seems to be a woman is a woman. And if it turns out they're not a woman, they're a man, then they're a man. That's it. Move on with your life because it's just a word. The way we define things and the way we build ourselves as a negative doesn't exist. This is why the Democrats have captured us. And that's like the next tier. And I think it's where I'm going to end up taking Sunday's critique to that next point. Because I'm sure he agrees with it. The Democrats have done this. This is what the Democrats do, is they wear the skin of leftism. And I don't think they're not invested in it in some capacity or that they don't care a little. I think even Chuck Schumer cares a little bit, but they're invested in power. That's where they are. The Democrat Party is just in line. That's it. Because you can't have an anti-party unless you do what Zoran Mamdani did. He created an affirmative movement in an affirmative direction. And guess what? A lot of people decided to go, oh, fuck, I'll vote for that. And it's actually just that easy. That's what people want. That's what people want. People want to be able to believe in someone and in something. And if they see themselves in the political party or in the political action, they'll go for it. And I think that's the setup. McGowan's Identitarianism is Reactionary or Right Wing is one of my favorite YouTube videos that has the worst editing. Let's say that we have two ways of rating videos. It's production quality and quality of idea. His ratio is completely fucked up. And I say that with all the love because it's one of the better YouTube videos. I almost want to hit him and be like, can we please make a better video out of this? Because it's such a phenomenal point, but it doesn't touch into everything. There's so much more in that because again, identity, who I am, the negation, the placement of that. If I see myself in a thing, I will go for it. That's it. That's it. People are not complicated. People are very easy. People are very easy. Am I invested in this thing? Yes or no? Are my interests socially there? Well, that's a whole other thing that takes time and social pressures and other stuff. But if it's just a negative, you got nothing. You're going to shame people into fucking voting for the Dems? It didn't work because people don't see it. But they vote for Zoran Mamdani. The McGowan vid. You know what? Because I don't think Todd will care. Let's see if Todd will care. Let's find out. All right. So in theory, I have boop, 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 boop. Oh, this is actually already positioned nicely for this. This could be good. I could be a fan of this. This might work. I need to flip me around. We'll figure that out another time. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. All right. This is his best video. That's not true. He's got a lot of good shit. I shouldn't say that because that's being shitty. Good dude. I'm a fan of the Todd. What the fuck? Why is this not working? I swear to God, like all of my stuff is like completely broken now. There you go. This is it, and I will link to it in chat if anyone wants to just go watch it, so you can watch it without me. And we will see if it... Let me turn me down. Oh, God. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Todd is Marxist, plays in a really interesting place philosophically. Why do I need to flip? I need to flip because I think I need to be looking in the right direction. So I kind of, if I'm like this, that sucks. But if I'm like this, so if I just flip, that might work, but it's fine for now. Fine for now. See if it plays, see if the audio comes through.
Here's one of the great figures of identity politics today, Jair Bolsonaro, and he gives us a good starting point. So identity politics, contrary to what we typically think, is a right-wing phenomenon, not a left-wing one. And I hope to make that clear in what follows. So I look at the contrast between left and right as an opposition between universality on the left and identity on the right. So identity, as I see it, is always a right-wing phenomenon, and universality is always a left-wing phenomenon. And when they come into opposition...
I agree with him wholly here. I think it's one of the sort of natural places that you can generally say this about, I think, a huge number of people. One sec, I am going to switch. Let me see. I'm going to try to flip this. Well, that's no good. Well, that did the opposite of what I wanted. That is not what I wanted to do at all. That's lame. That's okay.
Position with each other, that's the way in which debates between right and left work themselves out.
I don't know if Todd would probably not call himself a Marxist, but at the same time, like Zizek would not either, but I'd be hard-pressed to say otherwise. Like, Todd McGowan's, he's good. I'll just say he's good. I don't care what he is. He's good.
You can imagine, I guess, a debate between Robespierre on the one hand and Mussolini on the other, the early Robespierre at least. Partisan of universality, Mussolini partisan of Italian identity. So identity forms through giving a content to our subjectivity. So our subjectivity is always just an empty form. And identity is necessary. We have to have a symbolic identity. There's no doing.
And the thing is, this works even in Deleuze and Guattari's ontology and the way that they're set up. Not the same way. Subjectivity is not empty, but subjectivity is in constant flux. It is flux. In fact, there's many subjects that are being created at any time, and ultimately we, as the end result, are the consumer of those subjectivities. That thing puts us in the same place where it's The constant change, the constant setup, and the need for consumption and enjoy it.
Without it. But identity.
What theory to read about universality versus identity? Honestly, any leftist, and again, Robespierre is actually someone who wrote about this. But again, the thrust underneath it is talking about what does it mean when we talk about, like, what is the leftist message? And I always come back to very much the same point. It's about the universal. It's not about, hey, we want black people to have rights. I mean, that is consequent of the position. But that's not like the thing. We want all people to be emancipated. Universality is that. If I say I want this group to have rights, but what am I doing? I'm separating them out. In fact, I'm saying other groups may not have those rights. And you see this a lot in progressive or leftist, like the right wing. It's reactionary as a base. McGowan did write a whole book just about this right now. McGowan would be a good source for this. This is his jam. And you know what? I'm going to let him have it. He fucking nails it.
The politics makes identity into a ground for our being. And that's what distinguishes it from the universality of the left. But the thing about identity is that it's not just independent. It's not just based upon itself, even though that's what it claims to be. Instead, it always depends upon some non-identity that it attributes to the other. So, as someone occupying a certain identity, my enjoyment of that identity comes from those who don't share my identity. So, those who are outside, who have a different identity, are the source of my own enjoyment of my identity. So the focus of identity...
Right? What he's saying is, I mean, and again, this feels fairly obvious to me, but identity is not enjoyed by others who share the identity. It's enjoyed by the others who don't. If I identify myself as a white cis man, I'm not doing that for other white cis men, nor am I exclaiming it for that. I'm doing it for the benefit or enjoyment of the fact there are people who are not that. I'm this because I'm not that. Exactly.
Identity politics is always necessarily...
François Julien as well. Wait till we get to my Julien box. I've got everything he ever wrote. On the Universal is phenomenal for this. I would actually say also there is no such thing as cultural identity. If you want a small, easy way to sort of get into how he considers this stuff, for him, culture is actually not identitarian. It's resources. He is like a hyper-materialist view of things. It's incredible.
On those who threaten it or who threaten the identity of the person invested in identity politics. If I'm a fundamentalist Christian, for instance, this might be secular atheists, it might be Islamic fundamentalist, but it's some external group that threatens my identity as fundamentalist Christian. Here's one of the great figures of identity politics.
He's such a dick. Not Hitler. I mean, Hitler, I'll be brave. Hitler was a dickhead. But Todd putting great figure of identity politics, Adolf Hitler. It's true, and it's driving his point home, but damn.
And he makes this pretty clear in Mein Kampf, his only book. In general, the art of all truly great national leaders at all times consists, among other things, primarily in not dividing the attention of a people, but in concentrating it upon a single foe. So this is an important idea, that identity becomes enjoyable when the opponent of it is identified by a single appellation, a single name. And this also becomes clear in the thought of Carl Schmitt, who was himself also a Nazi.
He was.
Schmitt developed, very importantly, the idea of the friend-enemy distinction. And this distinction for Schmitt means that we constitute ourselves as political beings through our relationship to an enemy. So we need an enemy in order to have ourselves as a political entity. and I acquire my identity through distinction. This is Schmitt's idea. So without the distinction, without the enemy, then I cease to be. At least you could say I cease to be in political terms.
Which is all that matters, by the way. I cease to be, in political terms, it's kind of all that matters. Just saying, just as a note.
There's a nice Western by the great director Delmar Daves called Broken Arrow, which shows this dynamic at work pretty well. So the Western depicts the Jimmy Stewart character, who we'll see in this scene coming up, face a group of whites who think he's not really white enough, that he belongs because he's taken the side of Native Americans, that he hasn't proven himself a real white man, but their identity as white comes through their attack on him. Let's take a look at that.
It's a great scene.
Anybody else want to call me a renegade?
I'll never
It's a
call
great-
you a renegade.
it's a great
Jeffords.
moment.
The man's a liar who says you are. But why is Cochise so partial to you? How come he lets this mail rider through on the same day he wipes out a whole wagon train?
Because he gave me his word and he's a man of honor.
A man of honor? No Indian's a man of honor.
The first peace move in 10 years.
All I can think is all the comments on my video about Philosophy Tube that are saying I'm wrong, that it's fine to use the word Indian, that it's not a problem, that I need to get over myself. Fuck me.
And you're blind to it, all of you.
We'll have peace when every Apache is hung from a tree. Here's your $300, Jeffords.
The drinks are on me. I don't drink on any Indian lover. He's a copperhead. He's owned this house.
Bring him out. What are you waiting for?
No, you have no...
Great movie. Zizek loves the N-word also. Zizek invented a story where he got the N-word pass. That's how much he loves that word.
What's great about this scene is that it shows how intensely their enjoyment ratchets up at precisely the time they identify the enemy. So there's no enjoyment of identity or identity politics without this enemy that doesn't share one's identity. But this puts identity politics in a paradoxical position because it's constantly trying to destroy the other that it relies on to feed its own enjoyment. So the more it destroys the other, the more it destroys the very thing that it requires to provide it enjoyment. What's interesting, though, is that the destruction of the enemy doesn't eliminate the hatred of the enemy. It actually augments it. So the more the enemy disappears, the more the figure of identity politics increases.
Look, I'm just going to sit here and smile, and so I feel bad just taking this from Todd. I posted a link, and I will do it again. Please go there, and look. These are people. I like seeing people I've sent here. That makes me happy. It makes me happy. Hey, Todd. I think I've streamed this video live a few times. I feel bad. It is just too damn good. Can I do that, please? There we go. That works. I'll get permission. Make him feel bad. James says, Zizek always has a I'm going to be politically incorrect moment. He does. He's there's a line in Peacemaker that I really like. Let me see if we got it. One sec. I'm pretty sure it'll be on YouTube too, because it's no, come on. Peacemaker Oriental. Yep, this'll be it. This just feels like all of these arguments distilled tightly. I like Peacemaker. Up front, by the way. Excellent. Todd will have a conversation with fucking anybody.
Out and took over an Oriental woman.
Asian.
Pretty sure she was Oriental.
You're not supposed to say Oriental anymore. It's Asian.
Why?
Nobody knows why. It's just bad.
They do know why, asshat. Oriental insinuates other, so some people consider it derogatory.
It's kind of like I need a fucking snowflake scorecard, but fine.
Oh, the agony the straight white dude goes through in prison in a world where they suffer the unspeakable horror of occasionally having to substitute one word for another.
I said
It's just such a great scene.
fine. And you know what? Maybe I find asshat derogatory.
Can you?
And it's worth watching. The show's great. The show's just great. I have a essay on Peacemaker, actually, that's been written, and I just haven't recorded it. I'm not super happy with it yet. It's about Peacemaker and paternalism, because the entire show is actually, I think it's brilliant. I think people do not understand how smart a show that Peacemaker is. It's about the nature of how we do not understand the world conditioned before us and what is allowed that is placed before us. And ultimately, that there is no way to fight paternalism except to destroy it. And it's basically the entire fucking series is just about paternalism. And it's for every character. Peacemaker himself, basically his origin story is his dad was the White Dragon, who was basically the Klan's superhero, played expertly by the T-1000 from Terminator. He's a hyper racist piece of shit white supremacist Klan member who used to have his sons beat the shit out of each other in a pit and have his friends bet on money until Chris, Peacemaker, killed his brother, accidentally punching him. And since then, he basically took an oath that he would, achieve peace, no matter how many men, women, or children have to die for it. And, but his father literally lives within him and on him, builds his suit, built his helmet, like made him who he is. And he's kind of an accidentally racist hero, anti-hero, villain, really. And it's not subtle. He kills everyone in the Suicide Squad movie. The only person who matters to him is the white guy. That's what fucks him up, to kill a white guy. The way that he is built and his father built him is that. But then Adebayo, who's the black chick here, she's fantastic. God, what a good actress too. But she's Waller's daughter, who's like this fucking asshole psychotic who runs the Suicide Squad. But then all of it is also under this larger thing I'm not going to spoil, but paternalism is the core of it. I'm not spoiling shit. These are backstories that have been known, so fuck right off. Okay? This is not spoiling anything. I haven't told you anything. Trust me, it's worth watching, and ultimately, it is about paternalism. And it makes me just amazed. It's amazed. It's worth watching the Suicide Squad, and I mean this. It's worth watching not the first one. Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, there's two of them. The second one, James Gunn one, is maybe the best superhero movie made. But then Peacemaker comes off of that. Worth watching both of those. Just, if you like dark humor, they're fucking great. They're great. They're great. But Peacemaker's like actually weirdly philosophically good. I'm very excited I haven't seen Superman yet, but I'm a big James Gunn fan. So, big James Gunn fan. He's done some very good work, and he comes from trauma. Like, I loved his shit. I used to be excited for James Gunn films before he did Guardians, and it was like, Guardians? The fuck? They're letting him do Guardians? But yeah, it's great. You want to do, so there's Suicide Squad. There's two of them. You want the good one. So this is Suicide Squad. This is bad. This one's bad. This is just Suicide Squad. This movie's terrible. This movie's terrible in every single way that can be terrible. It's so bad. But then there's The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is Harley Quinn in the second movie is actually great. I mean that. She has one of my favorite moments maybe in the whole movie. It's no, really. That's Sylvester Stallone. If you didn't know, the shark is Shark King. King Shark is Sylvester. It's James Gunn has very good dialogue. I'm a big fan. It's very good. And it leads right into Peacemaker, and Peacemaker's excellent. And again, we have to thank, if you didn't know, we have to thank the Gamergator right-wingers for this film. Do you not know, if you don't know the story? James Gunn, who has a wonderful sense of humor, once made a joke about fucking kids. Because Twitter used to be fun, if you remember that. I know, before times. And so because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was like woke-ish, or he said some woke shit in some way, they dug up all these old tweets of his, and they got him fired from fucking Disney. And so DC went, I don't give a shit. Do you want to do Suicide Squad? Yeah. Duty is a big part of his character. It's actually really interesting. Duty is central. Again, it's paternalism. His father is like, I almost want to pull up and like make you watch scenes so you can see, but you'll if you watch it, his father's excessively big on duty and what you should be doing for America and the white race and like that thing. So it's built into him taking an oath, how much that matters and how important it is to do what you're told. To other people know what's better for you. Other people know what's better for you. Other people know what's better for you. And that thing becomes so central to this. Like, James Gunn understands how to write a plot inside a plot inside a plot. And it takes a lot of very, very good writing to get very good. It was an oath he made in general. Not father or country. Yes, it was to daddy. And it's paternalism central to it. Paternalism is central to it. And I'm not going to say, look, my fucking video on this, I'm torn on it. Because the ending is spoiler. There's no way to do this without spoiler. But it's like, oh no, James Gunn, if you haven't seen it, I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Oh, come on. Come on. James Gunn used to have a sense of humor. That was in 2009. That's very early Twitter, my friend. Also before anyone knew who he was. That song is not in the... So, James Gunn knows how to use music. Don't worry about it. The trailer, yeah, that trailer was weird. I'm with you on that. But, it's a very good film. And Peacemaker is excellent as well. Let's see. What's a great... There's a few really good... I don't want to do spoiler moments for Peacemaker. I mean, fuck it. It's got the best fucking intro that's ever been done. James, you have to remember, before he was known as anyone, he made movies for Troma. Tromeo and Juliet was one of his. Like, he did the most insane shit. Like, Offensive was his brand. I love it. I love that the eagle missed his place and like adjusts. Little touches. James Gunn knows how to do that shit. I'm excited for it. And season 2's coming too. It's great.
Batman has a coterie of supervillains. Joker, Riddler, Mad Hatter.
So what?
You said you were a superhero like Batman. Do you have a coterie of supervillains?
No, he doesn't.
So maybe you're not a superhero after all.
You want to know why I don't have a coterie of supervillains?
Why?
My coterie of supervillains is 6 feet fucking under.
There, you see, Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy.
He's a dark creature of the night.
He's a jackass who wrestles with murderers dressed like clowns and throws them in prison so they can break out of prison and then murder more people. Riddle me this. How many people you think Batman's indirectly murdered by being too much of a candy ass not to kill these fools who clearly need to be smoked once and for all, you wrinkly, Shar-Pei-looking dementia-infested fuck?
Jesus. I was just trying to make conversation.
Fuck it.
I enjoy it. I just enjoy it. It's good shit. It's fun. It's not enough fun. It's not enough fun stuff that's like interesting, right? Like things are not fun. That's for goddamn sure. Look, I come from an era where dead baby jokes was like the worst shit, but like everyone told them. Like the internet in the world, I guess 2002 to like 2009, different world. Weird kind of peace he's making. I will achieve peace no matter how many men, women, and children have to die to get it. It's meant to be, he is meant to be mocking America. Like the entire thing is straight up, not even slightly hiding the idea of patriotism and Americaism all the way through. It's not even slightly as a thing. So yeah, he's like, the whole thing is like, you'll see, it's worth watching. I hate most of these movies. The Guardians films, I actually enjoy. It's what made me go, okay, I'll give the Suicide Squad a shot because James Gunn is James Gunn. And I think he did all three good. I think he did a very good job with the Guardians films because they're very non-standard. And I think it was easy. It was a difficult ask to have him do those. I was a big fan of the Guardians comic book, to be upfront. I think they did an excellent job with it. I think most comic book movies are garbage. They're not really heroes. Heroes don't have risk of death. If you don't have risk of death, I don't think it's interesting. And when you have plot armor, I don't find it interesting. Suicide Squad, I think actually there's a moment in the movie that they become the first heroes in any superhero movie, which is hilarious, but I believe accurate. Because they literally just turn around and are like, well, I can't stomach doing something. I can't stomach not doing something. I have to do something even though I might be killed instantly just for saying I would do it. That's good shit. It's cool. Is it cool to hate the MCU now? I don't know if it's cool yet. I liked the first Iron Man because I was amazed someone made Iron Man not the shittiest superhero. And then I never understood how it took off. And then DC, I never understood how it took off, but I don't like Christopher Nolan's movies. Like, I don't like any of these things. I think the Punisher TV series was very good. That's about it. Yeah, so that's about it. But with that, I'm going to say, hey, everyone. It's been lovely hanging. I would love to do it again. So tomorrow we're going to finish up all of those shelves and all of these shelves you're not seeing right here behind me because I have a lot of books, a lot of board games, Here, we'll do one before I go because I don't have a place for it. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? This is just the game box. I finally have a room large enough to play it. If you don't know, this is Ogre, the Designer's Edition. Kickstarter. Steve Jackson, who's like a god of board games. Ogre was one of his first games. Really, really fun. Interesting semi-war game. It's hard to even say as a thing. Took 4 hours for my wife and I to put the pieces together the first time we opened it. So we didn't even play it. Switch back to the Duo Cam. Motherfucker. I don't know why. So don't try to diagnose it. It's my computer setup. I have no doubt. It's fucked up. It's fine. But this, my friends, is Ogre. This is Ogre. I've taken the top off the box. The box is the entire camera right now. Let me see if I can actually just we'll do a full extension because I think it's hilarious to see how fucking much this goddamn box. This is such a huge fucking box. Boop, 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 and there. Gigantic box. It's hard to explain, but this is a huge box. Ogre was this first game by Steve Jackson, who would go on to do, Munchkin's one of my favorite board games of all time. And it's a super fun one for kind of everyone. If you ever need a game to play with friends who I don't do this a lot, but they kind of know about Dungeons and Dragons bullshit, Munchkin. Fucking Munchkin is amazing. Munchkin's amazing. Munchkin. But this was not what I would say a publisher-friendly game. This is the fun shit it came with, but this is a giant tank rumbles toward its target. Its guns are destroyed, its movement crippled, but only a few defenders are left. Will they stop the robot juggernaut, or will it crush the command post beneath its gigantic treads? That's the game. And these are the pieces. It is hard to describe how, these are all of the different little pieces, reactors for the different buildings. And the different little guys, the Mark III that you have, fights and stuff. And then you have the various ones for destroyed ogres because they play their own part in it. Different types of everything. And here's why this matters. These are the pieces. Okay? This is one part of a game board. When I say one part of a game board, I mean, this is one part of a game board. See how the bottom doesn't have, because there's cities and pieces. This will take your whole floor. This is your whole floor. Actually, it's just easier to say this would be your entire floor. Would be Ogre. I think you're talking about like high school gym level giant size in order to not have it be completely taken over. I'm not sure actually that that's even accurate. Again, this is the base Ogre, right? So you have the other half, but that's not the setup. The setup is these guys. See all of these? These are also boards. And see all the tokens? This game's a fucking nightmare. This game's a nightmare. This game's a nightmare. It is not as complex as Twilight Imperium, as much as it may look the opposite of that. It's painful. Don't get me wrong, but it's no Twilight Imperium. But it just is just rough to like get people into and to get people to be up for playing. It is not easy. It's not easy. Not easy. So I have a bunch of shit like this that's like, do I play this? No, I don't play Ogre. Why would I fucking play Ogre? I have nobody to play with. I don't have friends. I don't have friends. How would I play this? Well, someday my son will want to play board games. He's already starting. So we'll find ways to play a game or two with him. And that's it. It's so fucking heavy. Ugh, shit, it's so fucking heavy, man. Do I play MTG? A friend of mine got me into it again recently. Shout out to Colm. I stopped playing it in high school, which, to be very clear, I stopped playing it in the late 90s. And given that it wasn't exactly around for a long time, I stopped playing it before it got weird. And before it became what it is now, which is basically an engine building game, which is fine, but I don't find that interesting in a battle card game myself. I'm a Netrunner guy. If I have to pick, it's Netrunner. Netrunner is my card game of choice. Yeah, I mean, that's the end of that. Netrunner is my game. I love Netrunner. Not super big into any of this other shit, and the way MTG does its fucking, oh look, I got a desert and I do this, and then fucking another thing. It's like, fucking goddamn it. Well, with that, if you appreciate the stream, join again tomorrow, because we'll have a lot more books and a lot more games. We can have a lot more discussions. And with any luck, in the next couple of days, I'll actually be able to get to a place where my connection is stable enough. I think what's happening is when I put stuff on here and my table, my desk rocks, I think it's hitting my PC and it's making something loose. So I've got to fix that. Fun. But otherwise, things seem stable for the most part, which is nice. Yeah, that's nice. But, hey, if you like what I do, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/DGQC, and join up, because a small price of a cup of coffee keep me going all night long, keep me going for days. It actually means a lot. $5 a month is a huge deal to me. From a lot of you people, you're pretty much amazing. So I appreciate all of my supporters. Otherwise, join the QC. We want to have more discussions. We want to build more content. And I'm going to be doing some more stuff over time. That's the big deal. Hey, Dylan, just became a Patreon. Welcome, Dylan. But it'll be earlier tomorrow. I'm going to end up doing this all day. Now that I have like an angle figured out, and I'll have pants that don't necessarily show my ass crack. Hopefully the stream was ass crack free. Although if a lot of you are in Magic the Gathering, I know it doesn't matter to you. But I think it'll work. So we'll be doing more of that. And then I think we're not going to do any takedown videos of philosophy people anymore, because they're all useless fucks. I think it's going to be critiquing philosophy people or creating a foil and having a AI that I can yell at that does that shit. I think it might be fine. I think that might be fine. So we'll see. But thank all of you for joining, and it's greatly appreciated, and I will see you all soon enough.